Welcome, everybody to the Shipwreck Pod once again. I'm your host, Bobby Ship, and man, it's been a week. It's been a week. Whew, I've been tired. I just have had one of those. You ever have one of those weeks when you just be like, blah, 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 blah? It's kind of how it was for me this week. Just felt like I couldn't get right. But here we are once again. We're here. We ready to sit on the couch and have a chat, have a talk. Man, what a week! What a week! So, um, like I said, today's a potluck. It's a potluck on a lot of different topics, a lot of different things that's been going on in the country and the world this week. And I'm happy I'm here with you guys so we can all talk about it. Um sorry. First thing up, I want to say is, and this can be pretty quick. Again, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. The YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook, please go to the Facebook. I'm sorry. Go to the YouTube. I put it in Facebook. We are going to disband the Facebook and go straight to YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button already. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button already. If you've done both, thank you. So let's get to it. All right, first thing, and I don't think this could take a lot of time because it's pretty simple. Uh, Elon lost. That was quick. Elon lost. It wasn't a battle. It just didn't happen. Just didn't happen at all. So let's start with that. Elon gave up pretty quickly. I think what happened was he realized where his money came from. And the money comes from uh the government. If you want to talk about welfare queen, Tesla and Elon are the biggest welfare queens in this country. They get multi hundreds of billions of dollars from our country, um, billions of dollars every year from our country. And he realized that the spigot would turn off, and he had to make a choice, and he chose his money. And then I think his board probably had to make a choice as well, and probably told him that, hey, you continue this war, and you can no longer be associated with these companies because they are publicly traded. Well, at least Tesla is. So he made the choice to quit. I am surprised that Trump really didn't go at him hard, especially right after he um, said he was a pedophile. Trump never even addressed it. He never said, I'm gonna let because usually when somebody comes at Trump, he comes at you harder. And he didn't do that in this case. He did throw out the little shot. He's a child. He's been taking a lot of drugs and all of this stuff. But yeah, so that's what I gotta say about that. Like, I just think he lost. It was quick. It was over with. It's that simple. Uh, if anybody like to chime in again, welcome to you're welcome to join the pod. I put it into the show notes on the Facebook, as well as I put it in to the yeah, somebody said it's not the board got to him for sure. I also, as well as put it into the YouTube. So next up, I want to talk about Hispanics here for a minute. Specifically Hispanics for Trump. We had welcome there, Travis. I would love for you to join the conversation. You and the family, the Alvarez family, to join this conversation. I think it's going to be a good one. Come on in, because we got to talk about this. As we know, we got the quote unquote riots going on in LA, and we're going to talk about that as well. I think they are instigated personally. And I think you're always going to have people that want to take advantage of a situation. But overall, I think that Trump and his administration have added flames to a smoldering fire, and we can get into that more as well. But like I said, I want to talk about Hispanics for Trump, and do they regret it? Because they had a lot to say before the campaign, or during the campaign season, voting for Trump, and honestly, they didn't think that they would be touched. I think a lot of people didn't think that they would be touched, and we all getting touched in certain ways. Like I said before, the us versus them is us billionaires versus I'm sorry, us not non-billionaires versus the billionaires. Sorry, I was reading something. And that's really the us versus them. It isn't race, it isn't colors and creeds, religion, it isn't even sexuality, it isn't even tranny this or transsexuals or any of that stuff. It is simply who has the money and the overwhelmingly vast majority of the money and who don't. And as long as they continue to keep us fighting over the hopes of one day that we will be overly, extremely wealthy like them, and continue to let the laws be where they don't have to pay their fair share in taxes or pay what they should be paying in taxes, our country is going to suffer. And it is that. But that being said, the Latinos for Trump, they didn't think that it would touch them. They didn't think it would touch their family. They thought that they was above it. But they are quickly learning that they are not. And with that being said, we're gonna watch the first video because hey, it's time to sing along. This is my favorite song right here. This one I heard this again today. It just cheered me up. It truly, truly, truly cheered me up. Welcome, Danny. Welcome, Ronnie, to the pod. As you said,
What up,
we're about
D?
to talk about Latinos for Trump, and we're gonna start it off on a high note because I may even get up and start dancing here, y'all. Because this one right here is about to get me. Here we go.
Ok, en español bien ahorita. Bien ahora. So, tranquilito. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God, I will vote.
Hey,
I will vote. Come on. Repeat, repeat. Oh my God, I will vote. Come on. I will vote. Hey, for
high
Donald.
note Trump. Yes.
Oh
Woo!
my God, I will vote. Let's do it. I will vote. Back time. Repítalo. Oh my God, I will vote. I
Mhm.
will vote for Donald Trump.
That's it. That's the video. I wanted y'all to see. We're gonna start off with that because we had a lot of Hispanics that voted for Trump. I can bring up the stats real quick. Uh, as far as we're gonna talk white, black, and Hispanic. So white men 60% voted for Trump. White women 53% voted for Trump. Black men 21% voted for Trump. Black women 7%. Latino men 54% and Latino women 38%. And Asians was 40 and Native Americans was 66, which I was surprised to see 66%. Um, Danny, I wanted to have you on here because I wanted to have somebody from the Latino community to come on and talk about this. And honestly, I don't know how you voted at all. I'm curious to hear either way, and let's talk about it because uh, the next segment we're going to talk about is the Latina for Trump, the head that she regrets supporting Trump instead of his cruelty. So I'm gonna ask you, thank you again for welcome back to the couch, Danny. And how do you feel about what's going on?
So, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
All right, that's good. I don't vote. I don't vote anymore. I'm done with it. And I'll just make it real short. I was in the military, boots on ground, 3 times to Iraq. Um, and I lost some good friends. I lost people that didn't make it back. And politics, man, it's so corrupt. And we it's really tough to explain, man. We're not ever going to win that battle. Democrat, Republican, behind closed doors, they're working together. They're cutting the deals, backdoor deals, and it's foolery. It's they do what they want, Bob. They do what they want, and there's nothing we're going to do about it. It's a wrap. Just when I was over there in Iraq, Dick Cheney was the vice president,
Mhm.
securing all the contract deals, which to me is a conflict of interest. If you're the vice president, just giving yourself the contracts. I mean, if people do the numbers, we spent a lot of money in Iraq.
Yeah.
Tax dollars, that is.
Mhm.
Um, I was in Iraq and they were driving Cadillac Escalades and Ford F-150s. I'm talking about the limited top of the line vehicles with no place to service them. So the life expectancy was probably about 3 to 4 months in the desert for them type of vehicles.
Yeah.
And we had a graveyard of nothing but brand new of model vehicles of the year, just getting smashed, and they would just order new one, bird after bird after bird, just cars driving right out the back of the birds, giving them the KBR, all of the contractors. And it hurt my feelings because when I found out that there was no place to service them, and I was like, well, what are they doing with the vehicles? They're like, nothing. They're just crushing them, they're junking them. And I found out that this was the American tax dollars that was going on here. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like Dick Cheney just basically feeding himself. And then it came to a point where President Bush has his own, or his family owns an ammunition company, and they
Mhm.
had us turn in all of our ammunition and gave us new ammunition, which was through Bush. They were his, that's what we had to take down range with us. And I thought that was another conflict of interest. So we've been using these bullets that worked great for us all these years, and now we got to use these bullets, and they were trash. I mean, it probably lasted about 3 to 4 months before we just rejected it. We said we're not using this anymore, but it was too late by then because he made the money. So I said that to say this: politics is an illusion to us Americans that we have choice and we have a voice. We don't, man. We don't have a voice. They're gonna do what they want. They got the money, and they're put in place to make us feel that we have a voice, but really it's the richest people in the world that are controlling everything that goes on. This is scripted, man. And we're just people are too sleep to really understand it. We're talking about the Rothschilds, the Bilderberg. We're talking about secret societies. We're talking about a way bigger picture. President's a puppet, as far as I'm concerned. He's a puppet, and that's just how I feel. Now, as far as the Latino voting for Trump, my brother's a Trump supporter. Mike loves some Trump. Me,
Get out
yeah,
of
man. Mike's big on Trump, man. And me, I don't do politics at all. I don't do it because there's
here.
just a bunch of liars, man. They're cheaters. Whether the lie is little or big, a liar is a liar. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? And that's what they do to us. That the numbers are all fudged. The deficit to me is fake. All of these issues, the media controlled, and everything they put out is fake. Now, I can't speak to certain things because I have a secret clearance and I can't address certain things that I would love to.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I say that the numbers are fudged, take it firsthand from me. The numbers are fake. The numbers are forged. They're fake. It's just you wouldn't believe it. I mean, obviously, you and I could have a conversation, when we link up. But I was
Yeah, yeah.
doing some shady shit, man, and it was just wrong. I was being forced to do this shit, and
Mhm.
these numbers were the numbers, that was getting reported back to here to the United States, and people, they're like, "Oh yeah," regurgitating these numbers, and the numbers are not the numbers. So now
Yeah.
what do we have to go off of? So this is why I don't do politics anymore. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It to me, it's a big reality TV show. It's a reality TV show, and they're just feeding us what they want. They keep us separated. They know what to play on. They know to play on racism. They know to play on that because they know they're going to keep us
Mhm.
divided. We can't come together. They got to keep the whites against the blacks, the Asians versus the Hispanics versus the Puerto Ricans versus the Mexicans. They got to do that because people are going to eat it. People are going to stand up for what they believe in and who they side with. If I'm Puerto Rican, yeah, you got a Puerto Rican flag, I'm gonna ride with that flag right now, man. Get out of here. I'm not with that.
Mhm.
Um, I think President Trump is a good businessman as far as making decisions, making money. I think he's a horror. I
I
think I,
disagree with
I
that.
think he's a horrible
I think
politician. I think I
yeah.
cringe when I hear him speak. Live on
Mhm.
TV, I cringe. I can't. To me, he just doesn't sound educated. It just sounds like he just says whatever he wants. And you just got to eat it. You know.
Mhm.
But as far as business wise and making money, I think I like that. I like that about him. But
But But see, that's a false persona in and of itself. The man went bankrupt 6
Yeah, but
times.
that's because there's
Um,
loopholes, Bob. There's loopholes.
yeah, I
And he
understand his
didn't write,
loopholes. I
and
understand his
here's the
loopholes.
thing, this is what he didn't write them laws. Them
Yeah,
loopholes are for the people to jump through. You
I
know what
agree
I'm
with you there.
saying?
I agree with you there, but this is it. But this is it. If he would have just took his money and just put the money he inherited from his father and put it in the S&P 500, he would have more money. Well, not today because he got the crypto scam going. But before the crypto scam and all of that, he would have more money today off of just putting in the S&P
Right.
500 than he did by doing his quote unquote
Yeah.
business stuff. He's a pretty. If there is anything about persona when it comes to politics, especially when it comes to him, he is made sincerely strictly through the apprentice. That's why people he's got this false perception. But I want to let Ronnie get in for a minute because I know he wanted to address. Because to be honest with you, I disagree with damn near everything that you said when it comes to politics and comes to voice and everything like that. But I'm gonna let Ronnie go first, and then I'll come on in. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Hey, welcome. Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
you. We can't see you as well. You can see as well. I think your background is a little jaded.
Oh, want me to turn it off? I can turn the background off.
Yeah. I think you might have to turn it
Okay.
off. I think that's got you.
All right. You can hear my voice, right?
Yeah, we got your voice though.
Okay.
You good?
Let's work on this part of it first. For me, everybody has their opinion about vote. I agree with you. All them cats up there and the politicians are all getting ran by big money. All you gotta do, like we talking about since we started, is all you gotta do is follow the money, right? Follow the money. It's not hard. It's not. They're not even hiding this stuff, right? Well, some of them do. Some of them was having no cash in their freezer, and they all got and put in jail. But if you go and look at every politician that's ever been a politician, this got to be the best business ever, right? There has never been a politician that goes in as a regular person that don't come out a multimillionaire. That's 100% thing that happens unless they get caught for fraud or doing something, nefarious. Where
If they go against the grain, against the grain.
So hear me out, right? So this has been going on forever. This ain't new. This ain't nothing that they just scripted. This is something that's been going on forever, and the people don't really realize that there's the people that you talking about, the Rothschilds. They ain't even the richest people. Nope. You don't even hear about the richest people that's running everything. It's only 5 families that run the world, right? But we gonna just leave it at that. The whole thing is like, you have to go out and vote, bro. I used to be just like you. I'm like, man, what's my vote matter? Like, they gonna pick whoever they want. They're gonna do whatever their agenda is, and then it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna agree with 99% of it because you don't really know. I mean, you don't really know who the person is. The only time we see the person is really the 2 hours we may see him on a teleprompter. They're reading somebody else's writing because they didn't write it. You feel what I mean? So do we really know who these people really are? I mean, some of them. Obama was awesome. I'm sure he did a lot of his stuff, but still, if you go back to each and every one of them, right? They all did kind of bad stuff, but the majority of the stuff they did was good, right? So the only thing I can think about right now, you talk about Mr. Trump being a great businessman. Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because the people that he frauded don't think he's a great businessman. He defrauded a whole bunch of people. He don't pay anybody from his last time he went and ran for the presidency.
Yes.
Right? He still owed them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Cities.
Right? But
cities. He still owes cities
right.
money.
But is he gonna pay them back? No, he ain't gonna pay them back. He got enough bread to be in court for the rest of his life. So that's how they play the game, right? So being a great businessman really is how you want to look at it. How many people that he screw over to versus the people that really want to get him because he owes them monies, right? But they'll never see the money because what they do is, and this is man, what's the name of that book I read? It was called Tort. It's called Tort Law, right? So if you read the book, it's called Tort. It talks about like what insurance companies do, and it's basically what rich people do and people like Trump do, right? They'll come up with a product, say a building or a fake university, right? They'll say, hey, there's all these people can come in here and join this fake university, knowing that it's fake, right? They pay all this money to it, and at the end, whenever the time comes, one of the students gonna be smart enough to be thinking like, hey, I tried to get a job, but they said this ain't accredited, man. I mean, like, what's happening? Now they start shutting things down, right? So now they just move all that money that they stolen from all these people and shut it down, and nothing you can do about it. Go bankrupt, can't sue you. You feel what I mean? So is that a good business move? I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Again, like if on his side of the fence, I'm sure he's like, this is a great business move. I feed my people by taking the food from these people that really need it. You know what I mean? So what kind of person is that? Right. So people don't really realize, like, you got to pay attention to the person, the whole holistic person. This man, we talked about, I'm sorry, this real quick. We talked about this last week, is you can't blame the man for being a snake. He's a snake. You have to be worried about the people that's carrying that snake around, letting them bite people. That is the person that you need to be freaking focusing on.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. I mean, right now.
All right, Dan, I got a question for you. Because you say you don't vote. Are you okay with what Trump is doing?
Nah.
You got to think about that.
Okay. So,
nah. Well, I just. Nah. I'll be honest with you, man. This is wild. This is wild, man. But once again, this is all part of the plan. Bob, is divide and conquer. It's keeping us occupied. It's keeping us separated while they do what they do. And it ain't just him. Anything, it's all of them.
I'm not going to sit here and say that all the politicians, they go, especially when you go into Congress, there's insider trading going on in there, and they go from making no money to becoming millionaires. I understand that. I get that. I'm not sitting here saying that that's right. It is wrong. It's wrong by anybody doing. I don't care anybody should be doing, but there still comes a time when you have to look at what's going on. So I asked you, do you like what was going on with Trump? And you say no. You don't like what he's doing.
I don't like. I didn't like when he was throwing towel paper around in Puerto Rico. I'm just saying,
get there as well.
So something like that. You got a country that just went through the worst natural catastrophe ever in Puerto Rico, and you there playing basketball, throwing towel paper at people. Like, people just lost family members, houses, and you just. But here's another thing, Bob. This is why I say they know what they're doing. Plane tickets were $150 from Puerto Rico to Florida before the hurricane. As soon as the hurricane was coming, that they knew it was going to hit Puerto Rico, $2,500.
Yeah. So of course, they do that. That's capitalism. That's capitalism.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
that's
horrible.
That's
the
system. They should shut that shit down. That you don't do that. They should be daggone getting a daggone a cruise boat and going to get people, loading them up and bringing them over to get them out of harm's way. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is why I don't do politics, because I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't go for that.
But again, now
I got something real quick, Bob. Just I'm sorry, real quick. I'm going to interrupt you. I just want to ask you a question real quick. Right? I'm Danny. So when you see like vagrants or something, like asking for money out on the street, do you give them money every single time?
Not every single time, no.
Okay. So,
but I do give money out, and food and water and stuff.
No. Here's the reason why I'm gonna say that, right? Is because even though we talked about what these capitalists do, and that's just making money, right? And it wasn't just that, right? So they have to those companies have to look forward, right? So now they know, dang man, we used to make $50 million come from Puerto Rico to Florida a year. Now we're not gonna make but about 25. So they need to get that 25. So what they do, you're gonna boost the prices up. You know what I mean? So that's just a real quick thing to why they do this stuff. They didn't do it to harm the people. They're doing it to protect their bottom line, which is all the thousands of other people that and all the thousands of people that damn.
I know why they did it.
It's horrible.
It is unethical to me.
Thing.
You know.
It is I agree.
Listen, it's a lot of unethical stuff happening, dude.
I think whoever sits in that president's seat, I think they're unethical as well. I think all of them are unethical.
There is a distinct difference between the two, though. There is a distinct difference, because you wouldn't see a Democratic president, you wouldn't see Biden, you wouldn't see Obama, you wouldn't see Clinton, those the last three Democratic presidents doing what Trump did in California. I mean, in Puerto Rico.
No, not at all.
So right there's a difference. You wouldn't see him. You wouldn't see a Democratic president going to Home Depot, going to courts. Literally, they're telling the courts now just to dismiss the case. So as soon as they come out, we'll go ahead and snatch them up. We're going to meat packing plant. Like, you wouldn't see a Democratic president
Hey,
arresting
Bob,
people
but
like
there's
that. Go ahead.
there's an
Go ahead.
audience for that though.
I'm still here.
There's an audience for
I
that.
understand that, but
They're trying to reach
hold on.
them. They're trying to reach them
I agree.
people.
I agree.
I think it's
I agree with you.
strategically.
I agree with
I think it's strategically. They're planting seeds since the last time he was in. Look what happened the last time he was in. How quick the whole world went to shit. Then everything smoothed out a little bit. We got a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's back in, and the whole world going to shit again.
That's my point. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why not when you say that they're both the same, you're saying exactly yourself that they're not both the same. Yet you're taking your ball and going home. It, like, instead, to me, this, let me tell you what if it, like, what I do with my family is we don't agree with Trump. We don't agree with anything in his policies, anything like that. So we go vote as a family. All the kids that's old enough to vote, we go vote because we want our voice to be heard. Because whether you think it or not, it actually does matter. It actually matters.
To what extent? To what extent, though, Bob? To what extent does it matter?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna go back to your personal shit. You was in Iraq. What years were you in Iraq?
2004, 2005. 2006, 2007, and 2009, 2010.
Thank you for your service. First off, thank you, brother. I love you. You know that to the death, right? All that being said, the Iraq War was started by George Bush. George Bush became president over 527 votes. Let me say that again. George Bush became president over 527 votes. That's something that's ingrained in my head. So when you say it doesn't matter or anything like that, is categorically wrong, false, because of those 527 votes that he won by, and there's conspiracy theories out there that saying that he didn't get that, the hanging chads and all that stuff. It took you, because I don't think Al Gore would have went to Iraq. He would have needed to do in Afghanistan. Don't get me wrong, which is what should have happened. He wouldn't have went to Iraq. He went to Iraq to finish off his daddy shit and, like you said, make money for Cheney and all them other ones. Yeah. So it's fair to say, in a different reality, if Al Gore won, you wouldn't have never went to Iraq for those 5 years.
I mean,
so
it's possible. It's definitely possible.
I mean, so when you say that there's no difference between the two, there's a distinct difference between the two, simply off of your life would have been completely different had a Democrat been in office.
Possible, unless it was part of the plan, Bob. Because the petrodollar is really why we went over. The petrodollar is when people wanted to start trading their American dollars back in for gold, and we were like, hold up, we can't give them all our gold. We ain't gonna have no gold left, so we put an end to that, and we made a big deal with the king of Saudi Arabia that we would provide him protection over all his oil. And they were only allowed to purchase it with American dollar. Saddam Hussein went against the grain and said, "I'm going to sell my oil to whoever I want for whatever, for the euro, for the yen, for the whatever, the dinar," and that's why we went in there. It really wasn't because September 11th. As far as I'm concerned, September 11th was staged. That's how I feel about that too. I believe we attacked our own people, and it was all part of the plan.
I see. I don't believe in the conspiracy. I just don't personally.
Yeah, I do, man. When you got Bob, when you got firefighters, when you got firefighters 30-year, and they telling you the way that building collapsed, and they do the scientific method behind it, there's no way that building comes straight down like that. It's impossible. Floor by floor by floor by floor, just collapsing straight down. They're talking about they were hearing controlled deaths, and then you got scientists proving that if a plane strikes that high where it struck, then how come it didn't go, sideways? Come on, Bob. There's a.
I don't believe in that, and we can have a pod dedicated to that, where you can bring your videos and we'll look at them and we can dissect that, because I'm not very familiar with it, but I don't personally think that it was an inside job. But I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring you back to what I'm talking about, which is simply, there is a distinct difference between the two because you just said yourself, no Democratic president would have treated Puerto Rico the way Trump
Well,
treated
I
them the
mean,
first time.
we haven't seen it yet, but no, no one has. I just
Nobody had. There's been hurricanes in the
no,
past. So
yeah,
don't get
yeah,
me
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
I understand.
I think there's a. I just don't think he's
But
presidential. You know, he's not presidential. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's rude. He's rude. I think to me he's uneducated. They say he's educated. I don't know. Maybe he went to his own college that he made up. But I don't
mhm.
think he has the vocabulary. I don't think he has the decency. I think he's just he knows what he's doing. I think this is all orchestrated to that fan base, um, and then people that want that type of person.
I agree. Let's call it what it is. It's white supremacy. It's That's what it is. It's white supremacy. It's to keep black and brown out. Is to continue to. They want to go back in the 60s and the 70s and some of the 80s where white was everything, and black people, brown people, everybody else stay in your place. That's what it is. And if you don't vote, if you don't vote, you are giving your vote to someone else. Not giving your vote, but you're allowing someone else that you don't agree with to win. You're helping them win by not
So
voting.
this is my understanding, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't voted for it. I haven't voted in a long time. The last time I voted was President Obama's first term. After that, I was done
Okay.
after that. Um, and it was because I lost friends at war, and I don't.
I'm going to ask you.
The reason why I stopped voting was because I lost friends at war, and I didn't believe in the reasons why we were in Iraq, and I had young soldiers dying, and that's when I started to understand that it there's a bigger movement, there's a bigger understanding. We just don't know all the facts. We don't have all the information. And to me, I think that that's when you talk about life, Bob, you talking about that's like me and you going over there, man, and only one coming back. You know what I'm saying? And then we
I
find
understand.
out like why we here? Why were we even
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. 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 I agree, but that's what it goes back to those 527 votes. Because if we had 600 more people go and vote for Al
Mhm,
Gore,
mhm.
you wouldn't have never
Okay,
been
so
there.
what do you know about the Electoral College?
I know a lot
Okay,
about it.
good. I don't know
I'm,
too much, but you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they the one who
mhm.
decides who's the next president is?
But they vote by the popular vote of their state. So, for
Well, they
instance,
didn't do that in Al
Al
Gore's
Gore,
case because Al Gore had the popular vote.
hold on. That's my point.
Well,
That's
a
my
lot of
point.
people.
So let me
Hillary
break it
had the
down to you.
popular
That's
vote
honestly,
too, but
that's
it's yeah. Go ahead, Bobby. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's exactly why. That is exactly why Trump won the first time. Is because it goes by each individual state, and each individual state goes by the census on how many people are in that state. So, for instance, Pennsylvania has 23 popular votes. I mean, electoral college votes. At least it used to
Right.
be.
Different states have
And
different. Right.
California has 55 different
Yep.
ones, right? So Delaware has like 3 or 2 or something like that, right? So, so if that state says we want this president, all of those electoral college votes go to that person who wants the popular vote in that particular state. That is why Al Gore won, because that's why I say it broke down to 527. Because yes, Al Gore won the popular vote. However, it was because he lost Florida is why he lost the electoral college, and that was by
And that
527
was
votes.
Bush's brother's
That
state.
that Bush's brother, exactly. I was about to say Bush's brother was in charge of with the hanging chads and all this stuff. So do I think it was probably some funny business going on there. I don't let my
Absolutely.
mind personally go there and do
See,
that.
Bob, that's
But I
because
don't
you're a
personally let
true
my mind
person.
go there. But yeah,
That's because you're a true person. You're like you. We grew up together, so we got good hearts, Bob. We got good hearts. At the end of the day,
uh-huh.
that's really what it is. We got good hearts, and we wanted to always win, but we didn't want to cheat and win. We were the type of dudes
No,
that we would play the game right, and if we lost,
yeah,
we lost. But we know we gave it everything we had. But
mhm,
while Hoffman Street and
mhm.
Dudley Street, they wanted to win by any means
They want to cheat.
necessary.
Yeah, they want to
You know
cheat.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
with you, I know you probably find it hard to believe, man, but that red, white, and blue will lie to you real quick, boy.
Listen.
Oh, look. I have no. I say this. I have no false prophecies or whatever the word. I can't think of the great adjective to say, but I understand what my country is. But I still love my country. I still think it's the greatest one in the
100%.
world. I think I would not be here if it wasn't for it. I wouldn't let my kids serve. You wouldn't let your kids serve. You wouldn't let your nephews serve. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't if we didn't believe in our country and know that we have a great country and that we need to continue to improve on it. We wouldn't do what we
I
did.
believe that.
You know
I
what I'm
believe
saying?
that. I think we do live in the greatest country in the world because they all corrupt. Every single one of them. They all corrupt.
They all got their own, like I say, they all got
Right.
their own shit. They all got their own shit
Yes.
with it. But I'm gonna tell you, as my brother, you got to start taking your voice back, because you saying that and don't get me wrong, just because you got your voice don't mean you're gonna win. Because I live here in Texas and I ain't won shit yet. Like I vote
Right.
for all losers here in Texas. You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to Texas. And if you ask me, I think we need to get rid of the electoral college simply because, or make it proportionary to whatever state that you in, and then you have a true, more adequate representation of who the president should be, because it's heavily swayed to Republicans at this point, because the majority of the populations are so centered in certain spots that they can sweep all the middle of America and stuff like that, and it's
Here's
a
my
wrap.
thing, Bob.
And
Here's my thing, right?
Go ahead.
Brian, whenever you ready, baby, you get in this.
I'm waiting. Listen, I'm waiting for a break, but listen. I think we all talking about the same thing, right? But the electoral college is essential. You can't have the popular vote, because whoever wins California and Texas is basically gonna be the president. You know what I mean? So you can't do it that way. You can't, because you can't have Maine, you can't have New Hampshire not have a voice. You know what I mean? So you gotta have that type of representation. I think the numbers are off, but that's how they found it. That's how they try to make it fair.
They make it proportionary,
right? But
make it proportionary.
But
actually, they did it that way. That was the electoral college has roots in the slavery as well.
My thing.
They did it that way. They did it
to
that way
disenfranchise black people.
to get sort of southern states, to bring the southern states in, because their population
100%.
was less than the northern
check
states.
this out.
So
Check this out.
Go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and we'll move on, because I want to play another video.
So,
all right, this is the last thing. Go ahead, Ryan.
What I was trying to say is, what was the original question? The original question was what, Bobby? It was because we jumped onto
Latinos, and
right. So let's go back to
do you think that they regret their vote?
Right. Let's go back to let me ask, go ahead. Okay, Bobby.
No. I can ask him. I can ask him after you. I want you to get.
So
I
wanted to stay on topic, because we'll talk about this for a long time. It'll be a whole different segment on that, because if you think about it, the United States is the modern day Romans. If you don't understand that, go do your history. Let's go back to the original question, right? Do people regret do they regret voting for this for this administration? Well, I mean, shit, everybody has some type of regret, right? What I think they have is an awakening. It's not a regret. They're awakening to what is really happening around this country. And that's why you're about to have all these people about to start doing some things that they actually want. That's what the administration want people to do, right? They want you to go out here and cause chaos. They want you to be crazy. What's up? Okay. That they want you to be crazy and do these crazy stuff, and because the only time that a president cannot be removed, or what Congress do, what they do again? They call it impeachment, right? There's only certain three, right?
I already know where you're going.
Right. So that's what go look it up. There's only 3 reasons why a president, we're in war. You can't do it then. You don't want to start no war.
Martial law.
It's an insurrection. Right. No. An insurrection, right? A big one, because that stuff in California is not considered an insurrection yet, right? But if it starts creeping around to all these little smaller states, that's when the president can say, boom, the governors have they don't have control of this country. I'm taking control. I need the military to go shut everything down. So that's what they want people to go out here and do. They want people to go out here and throw a temper tantrum. They want people to go burn up stuff. They want people to go get out and shootouts with police officers. They want people to be mad about what this clown doing, but it's always, you got to think. Don't look at direct thing. Look at what they're not showing you. Don't look at this. That's what it is. It's all this chaos over here, and then you look over here and you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
We just pulled out of what?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we just gave them
Yes.
who? We did, huh? But it's gonna be too late at
Yes.
that point, right? So the whole point.
Guess
of it
what?
Is, the whole point.
It's
of
already
it is,
too late.
Hold on, it's
Listen,
not. The whole.
It's not
the
enough
system's
of us.
going to work.
Listen,
It's just going to work.
It's
slowly.
not enough of us. That's the problem. It's not. We do got
Listen.
the numbers. If everybody was woke,
Listen, no, man. Listen,
It's-
listen. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, right? The system.
But
is
hold
going to work.
on. Let me say. I want to say this because I got to get this off my.
Go ahead.
Danny, you are a part of the problem, and I mean that sincerely as your brother. When you don't vote, and don't let your voice be heard, you are part of the divided. You letting them divide. You let. And don't get me wrong. What you had to go through was traumatic and it's fucked up. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for our country that you had to go through that because Ronnie just retired a few years ago as he did 30 years NAV. So you're talking to another vet there. Like, but we didn't experience what you experienced. We didn't. And so I thank you for doing what you did. And your brothers that's out there, you know what I mean, that you keep in touch with and don't even keep in touch with. I think and the ones that you can't keep in touch with because they're no longer here. But you can't take your ball and go home. You got to get out there and get into the fight some more because there are things that are important to you and your
here's
family.
my problem. There's only two teams, Bob.
I agree with you there, and that's what this pot because we ain't even get to the Dems because the Dems is disappointing too. Don't get me wrong. I can't. There's only two teams, and I'm going to say, and I'm going to agree with you that the second team is disappointing. The Dems, at best, I'm gonna call them disappointing, at best right now because but there's a difference between the two. They disappointment and disappointing progress is how I'm gonna describe them. Disappointing, slow, meticulous progress. It ain't enough. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Ronnie. I'm gonna give you the floor back. You frozen, but we hear you.
Hold on. Just I'm froze. Can you hear me?
No, you good now. You was for a second.
Okay, so don't listen. Stop listening to that bull crap that y'all keep hearing on TV, man. The Democratic Party is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're following the law. The law is slow. If y'all ever understand that, you have to follow the law. You can't go in there. You can't go. Hear me out. You can't go in there and put your and underneath your gloves because they got the metal stuff underneath their gloves. You can't go in there with the metal gloves too because when y'all both get caught, y'all both gonna look like crap. But if I come in there and I find out that they beat me up or that I still win the fight, you feel what I mean? Because you can't fight with that stuff under your gloves. Eventually, you're going to get caught. You can't go out there and fight. If you go look at any part of history, you're not going to beat the freaking big bully right away. You have to wear them down and do it correctly, right? Just because the rabbit is fast, baby, don't mean that the turtle not gonna win. You gotta stay. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. You gotta stay focused on what is the main things that need to be addressed. The main stuff that they're watching while we're all looking at this crazy stuff over here, they're looking at the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, where's our budget at? You asking them for money, you ain't gonna get it because that's how you fight. That's how you fight them. You fight them with your money. You're not gonna fight them physically. You're not gonna fight them mentally because they done made the law and changed them all, or they're gonna change, or they're just gonna ignore them. You feel what I mean? You gotta fight people at that level with bread. And all you gotta do is stop doing stuff. That's how you do it. Just like Uber about to lose an Uber amount of money, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about that. But a lot of those people don't understand. They understand that when they start losing them dollars, because look at all the rest of these companies now. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, I just lost. Blah, blah, blah. Look at all. That's how you change stuff with money. Not with fist fight, not with documents. That stuff don't mean nothing right now. Until they get power, because they're not empowered, they can't change laws because they don't have the power to do it. They got the money, they don't have the power. But once they get in the seats, that pen is mightier than the sword, baby. Remember that.
All right. Before I go further, anybody that you're watching now, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the page. We're trying to get the page out there. I love each and everybody that's out there that's watching. If you're just commenting, if you're just watching and just enjoying the show, please like and subscribe. It's a community. Like everybody is welcome. All viewpoints are welcome. Let me say that again. All viewpoints are welcome. And anything that we talk about and anything that we have with criticism, anything like that, it comes with love. Like I said, I'm never going to disrespect you. Nobody here on this panel is going to disrespect you, but we're going to have an adult conversation and disagree. That being said, I want to move on because Danny, you talked about dividing and all of this stuff and us versus them and stuff like that. And I want you to look at this next video in the context of could this chief police or this
I already
sheriff,
know what you're gonna show
I'm
me,
not sure
boy.
which one it is. Yeah. Could
I got a
he
lot to say about that.
could he be saying these? Imagine if he was saying this to January 6th. Could he say this to January 6th? Imagine if he could, and would he? Do you think it's possible
He
for him to
needed
say
that.
that?
He needed
Let's
that
watch
white
it.
hood on his
I'm going to
head.
break it down for you, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing.
I got to pause it for a second. Who is he talking to? Because he's not talking to the same people that he voted. I would bet my house, if my wife would let me, that this man voted for Donald Trump. I would. I don't think there's another shot in this world that he didn't. Because the Fraternal Order of Police endorsed him. Let me say that again. The Fraternal Order of Police endorsed Donald Trump for president after January 6th. So all of this black to blue shit, let me just tell you right here. Every time I see the black to blue thing, I look at it and I say that's no different than the Confederate flag to me. I don't think it's any different than the Confederate flag to me if you got the black to blue thing on. It's that simple to me, because you can't tell me you black to blue and then still back this dude. It's impossible. It's impossible. We got thumbs up going on.
I think there could have been a better way of definitely saying what he said.
Hold on. I'm gonna finish it. Hold on.
I'm going to break it down for you. All right.
Go back.
I'm going to play.
Here we go.
This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
All right, we back. So Danny, I already know where you're going. I can't see right now. But I absolutely agree with you about to say, because we're about law and order. But go ahead, floor is yours.
I just think there could have been a better way of saying it. It's some bad stuff going on though, Bob. It's some bad stuff. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say I got a thick blue line across my chest. I respect what they do. You know what I'm saying? I know if I had to dial them three numbers, I'd definitely dial them three numbers real quick if I had to. And I think because they know what's coming. They know what's coming, man. It's an upbringing. I'm telling you, it's everywhere. Right now in Philly, this Saturday. You know, I work for SEPTA, and they already had a briefing already. They're having a rally, and they're expecting us to get, you know, the blunt of some of that stuff. I'm pretty sure. Thank God I don't.
You breaking up, Danny? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Danny.
Froze.
Yeah, he froze up. But I think
He'll log back in.
Yeah.
There you go.
We lost you for a second. Go ahead.
So I just think, you know, I know you've seen some of them videos with, you know, with them throwing them rocks and stuff at the police.
Yeah.
You know, we're not for that. You know, we're not. I think, you know, peaceful protest is what we're for, to be heard and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But when they're doing what they're doing, man, they're getting out a little out of line. So I think he's just trying to set, you know, it's a scare tactic. You know, he's just putting that information. The way it was said was just it wasn't right, man. But you know, look at the president of the United States we got.
But that's my point in and of itself is I agree with what he said. We everything should be and it starts with the rhetoric. You've never seen presidents come out here and say, if you do this, you do that, you know, take their masks off and stuff like that. You never see even commissioners and stuff like that, police commissioners say their talk is lower than insightful and trying to dare people to do stuff. And then more important, so we agree on what he's saying, which is peaceful protest. That's what if he would have just said, hey, as long as you peacefully protesting,
exactly,
and long as you letting the flow of traffic go by, long as you doing those things, we won't have a problem. But if the flow of traffic can't go by, you know, if you're assaulting our police officers, you will be arrested. And we're going to have that problem. But
I hope he has the same.
That's not what we did. That's not what we did.
I hope he had the same energy going to get them dirty ass cops. But I got something to say when you finish, bro.
Yeah. But let me finish 1 second. I'm gonna get you on. Oh shoot, Eddie, Eddie, we got you. You ain't got no mics. So I mean no video. So you want to get on? You're still here with us. I just want to say this to end it, which is these people didn't have this energy against their own police force on January 6th. They didn't have this energy. They didn't have this. They didn't have this upset. And then if they did, they didn't express it. And then they voted for the man again, who incited it. Or even if you say he didn't incite it, he didn't help stop it. In the middle of it, he's saying, that's not hang my, what did he say? He gets what he deserves or something. I can't even remember exactly what he said, what the text was, but he didn't say, please calm down and stop. It took them hours. It took him hours to fix it. 6 hours to fix it. So with that being said, like, it's absolute bullshit for you to saying this stuff now when you really don't mean it. You mean it for anybody that's advocating for rights for black and brown people? Yeah, you mean it. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. That's what you mean.
I ain't know you could cuss on here, but okay, now that I know.
Oh yeah. This is not. I'll put check not for kids. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Check not for kids. So
yeah,
sit the fuck down. So here we are. But now you want to act tough when it comes to people that you think going to be advocating for black and brown people who are probably who? Black and brown people. Majority. I'll say that. Because you're going to have some good white folks. And let me start with this, because this is not a website, a podcast, or anything like that to say white folks are wrong, anything like that. One of our guests that's on there all the time is white. And we love her to death. Everybody know V. And so this isn't about black, white, or white as the devil or anything like that. But this is about reality. And we have to talk about reality. So Ronnie, I'm gonna give you the floor first. EZ, you up next. And then Keith, you just came onto the couch. Welcome, brother. And then you're up. So Ronnie, go, and then EZ, you next.
Okay. lot to digest there.
I'm sorry.
All right, so no. Listen, no, we on it real quick. So the police officer, the sheriff that's down there in Florida. Florida is just, you know how Florida is. Florida wide open like that, right? Yeah. Did he say the wrong thing? Absolutely. Could he have said it in a much more understanding way and a lower level? Yes. But he has to remember that there is more guns on the street than there are police officers. So if they want to start something out like that, it's not going to work out good for them, right? Or anybody. So once the police officers start shooting people, what you think the people going to start doing, right? So you never want that rhetoric toward any side of that, because you got some dogs on that other side. Like what he say? Just to test you, just to test it out. They'll go out there. I used to be one of them little knucklehead kids, just to test it out, just to say, oh, that's what it is. Let's go find out what it is. You feel what I mean? But for somebody at that level, and all those people that's around there that didn't look at his speech and say, wait a minute, we want to bring this. And what happened? What happened to police officers doing? What happened to police officers de-escalating things? You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, where is the de-escalation? And it should start, but it starts at the top down. It starts at the president down. He's inciting the shit too. So when you bringing it down, when you bringing it, you can't bring it down when he's doing it, and that's your man. That's your man's in them. That's his man's in them. And we're gonna get in on that. We're gonna get on that. Like they all in the club together. They all in the club. Remember what I'm saying right now, because we're gonna talk about it later. They all in the club together. So I Ryan, I'm giving you 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna go to easy.
The house is not on fire, bro. There's 330 something million people in America, and there's probably a good 1,000 people, maybe less than that, that's doing stupid stuff. So if you let these 1,000 people dictate what's going to happen to these 330 million people, then you're sadly mistaken. Go do your own research. Don't let the media put you in a position where you're not knowledgeable about what's really going on out there, because the house is not on fire yet. It's smoking, but it ain't on fire. And there's a lot of freaking firemen out here to make sure that it's not going to catch on fire. I promise you, the system is going to work. Is it going to work at the speed that you want to work? No. What system does? So that's the thing, that you have to be patient. You have to sit back and not want to punch people in the face right away. Sometimes you got to think like, wait a minute, do I strike back or do I wait? Sometimes it's much better to wait, because a lot of times people hang themselves. And if you're looking at what's happening for real, people are starting to turn up or wake up like, whoa, that's not what this cat's supposed to be about. And I'm talking like high level people. And I ain't talking about us regular folk. I'm talking about people with bread. You know what I mean? So when you start losing those people and we start fighting back with our cash and not going through those establishments, I'll guarantee you how quickly that message will change. Because look what happened with China. China was like, okay, cool, we don't need you. We'll get our own bread. Oh, whoa. Now all of a sudden, let's backtrack, bro. So that's them kind of testing the water. So you got to really pay attention to what the money is doing. Watch the money. Fight back with your vote. First off, you got to vote and fight back with your bread. Do your education of the people that, or the establishment that's not working for you. Don't utilize them, because our money is a lot of bread. They cannot not function without our money. So look at it that way.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Easy, you up, man? We're welcome back to the couch, and we'll brought you, and let's go.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing this evening? So real quick, LeBron, 1,000%. The money, follow the money, right?
I didn't know you had your thing. I didn't know you had your thing. Hold on, my bad, bro. I didn't know you put it.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I was saying with Ronnie, 1,000%. With our money, our dollars are how we fight back when our vote. Also, not last week, the week before, we were talking about the police killing that one kid, right? So over to what's his name? I know you talk about the police having a tough job, but again, it's tough being a black man, a brown person, a minority. And my point last week or the other week was, we ain't trained to deal with that. They trained to deal with that. They trained in escalation of force. They're trained in how to do these things. And if you go in already on 100, you already ready. You come in aiming. You just ready to hurt somebody. And I hope that people don't go out there and give them no reason. And I know they're gonna have some instigators planted in there to start some mess up. Yeah. But to keep stuff up. But I hope our people sit down and peacefully protest wherever we got to be and protest away from that mess. But our voices still can be heard. They're going to cover our stuff, but don't be out there giving them reason because they ready to kill you already. He just told you we gonna kill you if you come with that bullshit. We're gonna kill you. It ain't going into no hospital. No, he said that part. No, they're gonna kill you. You spit on them. Because if you spit on one of us right here, you ready to kill somebody, right? So I'm just saying.
Oh, you're right. You're so right about
somebody gonna get the business.
Yeah, they will get the business.
So,
but you gotta think like there's people that's behind those folks. So when you start killing my people, guess what I'm about to do? I don't care right, wrong, or indifferent. You kill. Listen, let it touch the wrong folk in my business, and y'all gonna see how people get down. Because I'm telling you, there's some dangerous people out here. I'm talking about some really seriously dangerous folk out here that you really don't want to provoke, man. So that's why you got to be real careful with that.
Yeah, that's what they want. Go ahead.
No,
Easy.
what you're about to say, that's what they want. That's why I say I hope our people sit back and don't go in, don't put yourselves in that space to where you can get killed, where they can use you as a tool or a pawn to escalate the thing, and that's all they're gonna need. Oh, martial law everywhere, all the states. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But that's
all right. Go ahead.
No,
you got something else? Oh, okay. Keith, before you guys, just want to say again, anybody that's watching, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. If you want to join the conversation, I put the links into the chat. Come on in, join the conversation. It's a great one. We're enjoying ourselves. We talking real shit. We just talking real life shit. Keith, welcome back to the couch.
Can you hear me? Hear me good? Oh yeah.
Got you loud and clear.
It's so much to unpack that. When you start about when someone says that they don't vote, to me, I feel it's just a cop out because you don't want to do the hard work. So I'm coming to, how I give examples like last week, I say the flat earthers or whatever. So I'm offering this to Danny today. So to give they're all corrupt type of thing. And they may all be corrupt, but you're going to have to play within the system in order to get it to even try to work. I'll give you an example just on a small level. You at your school, there's a principal at the school. He's been charged or been maybe pleaded to hurting your neighbor's kid, may have hurt another kid around the school system. You know that about him. He's played out of it, and he's finishing out his term as a principal, and he's up to be principal next time. He's not going to step down. He's going to try to be principal the next time. Then you have this lady who's going against him. She wants to be principal. You know that she has maybe done something bad, like when she was first a school teacher, she took a bribe and she paid for it, and she's gotten better, but she took that bribe. She's as damaging as that principal, and they win. But he's the choice, the principal or that lady. You can sit there and say they're both bad. What are you really going to do in that case? Just let the principal who's maybe touching kids or doing something wrong come back? Or are you going to say that lady, she just took a bribe? Part of may have taken a bribe, and she paid her penance and come back. What are you going to do? You're not going to cop out. It's cop out. Say I'm not into politics. You have to make the tough choice, and that's, I feel, sometimes what people just don't want to do. And on the other case where we're talking about the police officer or the police chief saying the things that he just real hard things he's saying that he wants to do. We say the same thing to a kid that hits our kid. Say a kid comes over there and hits our kid at school, and we say, I'll beat that kid's ass. He touched my kid again. That's what we say internally to our friends or whatever. But when we go in public or to the principal or to people, we say, there may be consequences if that kid hits my kid again. I urge you guys not to let that happen. There's a modicum of decorum that we keep, that a person of that authority, sheriff, should keep. He should have strong words, but he should be intelligent enough to say it in a strong way to create the atmosphere that he's trying. We'll get it. If he says, if you hit one of our officers, be sure he who lays a hand on that may get another hand. Anything that without saying, you're gonna be put in the grave, that kind of stuff. You know why he says that kind of stuff? It's the leadership we have now, and that goes back to your vote.
Yep.
If you believe
Yep.
that the leadership on the Democratic side would allow just all of this rampantness, that we have sheriffs out here just can say what they want to say, then you're being disingenuous with yourself. You know that this is a Trump thing. Trump says, do what you want to do. And he's doing what he wants to do. But the hardest part,
At one point, he even said that. He even said that. Don't be
is,
too
do you
nice.
know he meant it, though. So now that he said it, regardless of what happens, if he actually does it, you knew he meant it. He said it. You knew he meant it. So you can't go back and say, well, he could have said it a different way. Regardless if he said it a different way, you know he meant that. And that's a dangerous slope that we're having. I mean, it's a lot to unpack, but that's just a couple examples I just want to put out.
Yeah. Danny, I'm gonna give it back. Thank you, Holly, once again for joining. I'm gonna give you a floor in a second. Dan, I'm gonna give Danny a chance to unpack that. I'm gonna talk because Keith, personally address Danny talking about not voting and stuff like that. So Danny, the floor is yours to talk to Keith for a second.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I just I have a real problem with both sides right now. And like you said, you gave me a good analogy to go off of. And that definitely give me something to think about, because it's like, hey, this is all we have right now. We got the left and we got the right, and it's just it just, with me going to war and losing people, man, I'm just like, but I feel both sides are corrupt, and I'm like, what, I don't want no parts of it. I rather just whatever they give me, that's what I got, and I'm just going to live within that time frame. As far as what the cop said, though, the sheriff, there was definitely a better way to put things. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And somebody said something about they have the training, and they do have the training. They got more training than the regular civilian out there has. Even though I believe they need more, they need to spend some of that money in definitely retraining a lot of these officers, especially in de-escalation and use of force. So yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
They definitely need more training. And what he said, it just wasn't professional.
No,
It wasn't professional. You
Yeah,
just added wood to the fire, if anything, because there's people out there that's like somebody saying, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you back. You know what I mean? And well, that ain't de-escalating. That's just like daring somebody to go ahead and do it.
Now I have never read. Yeah, I have never read a police handbook, but I'm sure somewhere in there it says de-escalate the situation.
For sure.
Holly, I'm about to give it to you for a second, but I'm gonna say anybody else, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and join the conversation. This is what we're about. We're about here to sit here and talk and have some fun. And also, lastly, tell your friends about it, because the only way to grow this community is if we share what we talking about here, because this is real life stuff. Today we talking politics and current events, but next few weeks we gonna get into mental health stuff. Because White said I should have talked about it today, because I ain't been feeling like myself this week. Like I just wanted to.
I want in on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So like we gonna talk real life stuff, and that's what our pod is about. So please share with other people. Maybe it's just a snippet. Just say, look at this part here. And if it's something you want me to cut out and say, hey, send me this because I think my friend could use that, let me know, and I'll make it happen for you. Holly, welcome back to the couch. The floor is yours.
Everybody said pretty much everything I wanted to say when I decided to join, especially Keith, when you was talking about the professionalism piece of it. He's a deputy sheriff or the sheriff or whatever the deal is for that county. Mm-hmm. There's a level of professionalism. They are to protect and serve. So when you say, oh, we would tell that to one of our kids, we're not held to that same standard that the police are held to. So when he's coming out rogue like that, he's absolutely, and I believe you said it, Ronnie, where he's like, oh, I'm put this stick. Remember you put the stick on your shoulder and then somebody knock it off when you was a little kid and now you bang it. So you got people out there that are like, oh, let's go down there and see what they really about. So that's the thing. And I think he may have bit off more than he could chew with that. I hope and pray not. I think somebody else said, we hoping our people don't go down there and start acting crazy. Let's hope they don't. But I think he may have added fuel to that fire with that.
No, go ahead. You got something else?
It's
Sorry.
it's on something for Danny though, just not related to that. So if you got something,
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Go
so
for it. Go
Danny,
for it.
I
You're here.
cringed when I heard that you didn't vote. That really, but I understand I don't understand it, but I respect what you said. Let's say it like that. But do you so? And that was the presidential. So please tell me you vote in your local elections. Because for me, the president only has so much power. But it's absolutely imperative that you get out and you're in vote in your local county, state elections. Those are real. I mean, the presidential election, of course, is important. But those are the people that's really controlling stuff. Your Senate, your Congress, and those things. So please tell me you do that.
Yes. Yeah, I believe in local, like local voting for, the people that are running my community. To me, the president is just the commander in chief. He's going to send us to war. He's going to make them type of decisions. So I believe that the local vote, to me, is more important than the presidential, because it'll affect me, and my family a lot sooner than. So yes, I do that. But somebody said something. I'm trying to remember. You just said something about. Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Go ahead. I'm gonna get back to it. When I remember, I'll say something.
All right. So I'm gonna ask this because I'm gonna switch off to another subject that we're all gonna be like, wow, because this one just came up as I was getting everything together for the pod. But I want to ask us, as a black community, now, should we care what they're doing to the Hispanic community? I'm gonna be honest. A part of me was like, nah, fuck that, because 50-something%, like so many majority of them voted for this and was like, this ain't us. But at the same point, they still are brothers and sisters, whether they recognize it or not. And then on top of that, once they get rid of the Hispanics, then they come for us. So it's so many things to unpack there, but like it was just something that I wanted to ask the community. Like, do you feel like as a black community we should help? Because I feel like we do. We need to help. We have to help, because if we don't, like I said, he's coming at the marginalized first. And even though we was marginalized first, and now then we're going after them. But even though we're not the ones they're going after, eventually they're going to come after us. And I want to ask, Ronnie, we're going to order Ronnie, Danny, Keith, and Holly. That's my board that I see. Ronnie,
I'm sorry. Okay, so it's hard for me to talk before Holly, but so for me, it's kind of like, yeah, how she know how I am. Women go. But anyway, so the whole thing for me is she are a legend too, so you know how that goes.
Yeah, all
right, you can sit back and wait.
Holly, I'm like,
But anyway, so for me, should we care about our fellow humans? Absolutely. I don't care, white, brown, black, or purple, whatever it is, right? So for how I look at it, how I look at it, I don't look at it as a race, right? There are races, there are differences, and all the other stuff. But if you look at our history for black folk, we have always been taking care of people. That's just our nature, bro. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. It's ingrained in people. So do we care? For you even to ask the question, you already know the answer to that. You feel what I mean? A lot of people ask questions that they already know the answers to. If there's a question of it, that's something that's thought in your head, you already know what your answer already is, right? So absolutely, we should care. So here's the other thing that we should really think about is like, how do you support it? Is it always going out there getting our hands dirty? Is it us supporting them financially? Is it supporting them on this type of platform to say, hey, what you're doing to our brothers and sisters in this country right now is wrong? It's different ways that you can do it, right? So do you care about things? Yeah, absolutely, you care. I don't care really who it's going to affect, because ultimately for me, I look at what the kids are starting to see, right? And I don't know if I sent it to you, but a kid was talking about like what's going on, like an 8 or 9 year old was talking about what's going on in the world and what he sees, how the world is acting toward him, and what he sees the future of the country is going to be. And I'm like, this dude is 8, 9 years old. I'm like, out of the Marvel babe. This kid was so on point on his viewpoint of how he sees how things will work. And of course, they don't really understand everything, but don't get that twisted. Kids understand and see a lot of things that we don't even recognize anymore because we don't have that viewpoints anymore. Our world, our view is global. Theirs is a little bit more restricted, but it's more concentrated, which means that their information is a lot more streamlined than ours, really. But the whole thing for me, like, do we support? Yes. Do we care? Absolutely. Because we are going to be the biggest backbone out of all of it. And how do you do that? You support and use our money to support whoever it is to say, hey, you know what? You treating these people wrong and you guys support this clown, you don't get no money. Matter of fact, you cut off too. You're cut off next. And then that people are they gonna come after us next. They can't come after us, bro. Get that out of your brains. They can't come. Could you imagine if they took could you imagine if they took a third of all the African Americans out of this country? What would happen? This country would crash, bro.
You being small. Hold on, I just gotta stop you because you're being small-minded. I'm not saying they come after us by getting us out the country. They can't do that because we got there, but we came here before Trump got here. What I'm talking about, and actually they really already doing it already. Baby. Yeah, they already doing it already. They're gonna continue to go after HBCUs. They're gonna continue to go after the school system. They're honestly they're already coming after us. They're just doing it silently. Well, not silently. They're doing it without guns and without violence. But they are coming after us. They are coming after us. It's already happening. Danny, I want to ask you. You know, like I said,
just real quick, Bobby.
Go ahead, Ronnie. Go ahead, Dan.
What did those universities do before the government started giving them money? Did the government give black people money in the beginning?
Yeah, they raised it on their own. We raised it on our own.
My point is, we know what this. We've been going through this stuff this community been going through this for, not hundreds, thousands of years, bro. So the people are, they're gonna come after this, but we don't need them to do that kind of stuff. People we got our own bread, bro. Even if they take some of the federal funding out of some of the colleges, it will be replaced because now instead of us going to Uber or going to freaking Walmart or Target, it is, bro. If we concentrate the right money in there, I promise you this.
I promise you this. We have a good amount, but I don't think we have enough. That's my opinion. We can talk about that later. Again, we're trying to keep the thing going. All right, Danny. I just wanted to ask you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think of course, I think we should stand up for humanity, period. Like my man said. It doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Now, I also have mixed feelings about, the situation right now, because if you're here illegally, and you came here illegally, you got to go home, man. You got to go home. I'm sorry. You MS-13 from Mexico, and you coming in here, and you part of cartels, and you got to go home. I'm sorry.
That's a difference than if you committing crimes, gotta go. You need to be in jail or go back to where you came from, anything like that.
Right.
1000% agree with you there.
Okay.
Right? But let's differentiate between what they're doing. Man, I said it right. Look at me. Look at God.
I heard that. Yeah, good job.
What they are doing that, like what started the situation in LA was they were going to Home Depots and rounding people up that was day laborers. They weren't breaking the law and doing because here's the secret that they don't want to let out. There's not enough criminals to get out the country. Their quota is $3,000 people a day. They can't come up with 3,000 people a day in the United States, criminals. So they are going and doing different things. That's why he laid out the caveat today of farmers and all this other stuff, because once they started going there, which they started to do, now Purdue is upset. Now everybody else is upset because guess what? That's where we get our produce. And that's where we get our lifeline from. So what you saying, we all agree with. Like we're not saying like if you raping and doing all this stuff, but if you have been a law-abiding citizen and you've been here for a time period and living your life the right way and doing what you need to do for your family and stuff like that. And this is near dear to my heart. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Doing what you need to do to your family and stuff like that. I have no issues with you or your peoples. But this is the other thing that they're doing. They are so much hurting for people to deport that they're taking away protection statuses to deport them. That's what they did with the Haitians. That's what they did with the Venezuelans. That's what they're doing with the Cubans. Cubans even. So all these people that in Florida, let me play. I feel like I need to play my song. I will vote. Hey, for Donald Trump, because those are the people that thought that they was protected. They thought that they was good, but in reality, they was never good because they look at you the same way they look at me. You don't belong here. But they can't get rid of the Africans. They like Ronnie said, they can't get rid of the black Americans that been here before Donald Trump got here. So I'm gonna give you a second, Danny, then I'm gonna go to Keith.
Okay, so here's why I said I'm conflicted. I'm on both sides because I think if you're here illegally, then there's a process and you need to go through that process. If you're a law-abiding citizen and you're here illegally, then go through that process. Get yourself an attorney and go through that process, right? Now here's the flip side. If I was Mexican, I'd come over here too. If I was Cuban, Dominican, I'd come over here too. Because I know a lot of them. I speak the language. I speak to them. I actually know the construction workers out here. They get on my bus to go to work with their tool belt. You know, and we talk all the time, and I speak to them in their native tongue. And I get it, man. They're just trying to get that American dream. They're trying to get and provide for their family. So if I lived in Mexico, I'd be hopping that daggone border too. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
listen, it's a process, man. You got to do it.
It is a process. It is a process. But again,
Support them.
He has taken away the process for a lot of people, because a lot of people come here, report to the border, say I want asylum. They come in, they start their asylum process, and Trump is taking away their asylum process's rights and just saying you need to go back.
Yeah, that's wrong.
So what you're saying is, so the process, like, yeah, there's a process, but when you take the process away, now I'm strangling. Now I got a choice to make. All right.
So I would support. I'm gonna stick with you. We got to support our people.
Yeah, we got to
no matter what.
Yeah, we do. All right, Keith is up. You up?
So Danny, that's a real quick question to Danny. So the friends you have that you say you see every day, you okay with them just being round up and sent back out? Just you okay with that?
I would say that I recommended them. This is what I tell them. I say, get yourself a lawyer, man. Save your money, get yourself a lawyer, and try to go through that process.
That's the perfect world. I'm talking about, this is Trump's world. Or you put the ice, just grabbing those guys and sending them back right now.
Yeah, I my heart goes out to them. It's sad. It's sad. I feel for them.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So before you go, Holly, I'm sorry. But when a lot of these guys are doing asylum and stuff like that, they go to their asylum hearings. The Trump administration is actually in charge of immigration judges. People don't know that, but the immigration judges are actually in the executive branch. He's in charge of that. He is literally telling them, so they don't have an appeals process, just dismiss the case, and then we will arrest them as they're walking out, just to get their numbers up. So it's not that.
That's crazy.
They're creating a no process.
Yeah.
They are creating. That's what they're doing. They are creating a no, because they know that the judges and all this stuff, if they let the process go, they can't get them out. They can't get them out. Meanwhile, they're letting white South Africans who own 72% of the land into this country because they're being discriminated against.
Hey, Bobby, I'm going to answer that original question though about should we be supporting I think we should support our Latin brothers and sisters, but I think we support them just like we do. You know how we have a kid and you tell them, stop pulling away from me. Stop pulling away from me. But they keep pulling. You're not going to let them just hit their heads up, but you do let them go and let them hit their ground, right? Boom, they hit the ground. That's what I think we need to do with the Latin community at the moment right now. We got to let them hit the ground. We're gonna protect them. Make sure that, don't bust their head open, nothing like that. We're going to softly let you hit the ground right now, so you know that, what grandma say, fat meat ain't greasy. You got to let them know. They got to figure that out right now, that this ain't what you want. But in Trump's defense, what he's doing is what I think the nationalists and white nationalists and all the white supremacists like to do. It's more about keeping every race separated of color, no matter how they do it. This is just the attack. They attacked us before.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're attacking the Latinos, and then to be Chinese. It doesn't matter how they do it. They just want to keep us all knowing or not knowing that if we band together, we could take this thing over. That's the whole point of it. So Latins today, Black people before, Chinese will be next. That's why they setting up, oh, China, they'll be next, just to wipe it out. So that.
I just want to say, your mic is blending in with your shirt, and you sound good. Sound good. Again, if you're watching, please like and subscribe. Holly, the floor is yours.
Okay, everybody pretty much said everything that I was going to say. But when the original question was, did you say, do we care about them? Or
yes. Should we care? Should we, like, as a Black community, because we knew as a Black community, but Hispanic, but one of the things that I didn't realize was Black Americans are one. Like, we don't look at it like you from Ghana, you from Sierra Leone, you from Nigeria. We are all Black. We understand that. We know that. They treated us. You can be from the master's house and you still a. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can be master's kid and you still a. But with Latinos, it's different. It's different. So they look at themselves differently, and Danny can speak to that better than I can. So go ahead.
But absolutely, we should care. I mean, I think Ronnie said just being a human, the humanity piece of it. You know, snatching parents away from their children and all of this stuff is heart wrenching when you really think about it. So just being empathetic to what they're going through and the way that this administration is going, it's imperative that we band together in some shape, form, or fashion as one. I wanted to ask, and what does that look like, though? What does that look like?
I just said, yeah, that's what I was saying, that we got to do it in certain ways. Like, you don't always got to be on the picket lines.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's ways you could do it. It's just multiple ways. You can go out there and
use money. Like if the Hispanic community and the Black community came together as one and said, we're not doing this, that, and the other, it will make a difference.
It would.
I mean, Target is making it. It has making a difference in Target for Black people saying we're not doing Target no more. Yeah,
and I am not shopping at Uber.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm not using Uber ever again.
Yeah, Uber's up next. Uber's up next.
So
Uber's gone.
Yeah, so I think, Uber's done. But I think what the thing was that we thought it was that way already until the election came up. Then you find out what the numbers look like. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Now you can see the truth. So this is new to. I think we just in shock, to be honest with you. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, I think initially,
are you kidding me?
But now
we've been telling you
this administration does shocks me anymore.
So,
it's listen, like, oh, this is their
horrible.
Next move.
So yeah. So I think a part of it too is, like, they already talked about the numbers. Oh, it's a number game, right? So if you getting out baby, if your demographic is getting out baby, and you always were up here, and now all of a sudden you move down 4 or 5 points, and you can see that happening again in another 10 years, now you're not the majority anymore. How do you fix that problem? Mm-hmm. Well, you take away the baby making machines. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? So it's bigger than what people think it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not just the undocumented people in here, law-abiding, tax-paying, people that you can leave your kids with for a week and not worry about type people. The big majority of them are like that, right? The people that are coming here doing this is a very, 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 very small number in a larger group of people, right? However, they want to focus and put everybody in a bottle and say, no, everybody's bad. Like, that's not true. When you circumvent the system The system is going to circumvent you, and eventually the system's going to circle back, and it's going to be worse on you. So what I mean by that, just watch how the system's going to work, because it's going to work. What's going to happen at the end when they do what they got to do? He's going to pardon all the people that did stupid shit, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen. So, but we know that. The Democrats know that. They're trying. The people don't understand that. People behind the scenes, they're trying to make sure that fence is blocked. You can't run out that fence, bro. We know what your escape plan is. Before any grift you get in there, you already had your out before you get in. That's what people don't realize. This dude, these group of people, they have outs already. You know what I mean? They got to get those outs shut down, and then you can start coming in and start bashing people in the head. Because right now. You don't have it right now. You don't have all the block. You don't have all the outs yet done. So that's what people don't realize. You got to look bigger than the scope that people are really realizing, because they don't see that part. I do. It makes perfect sense to me. It's business, right? It's a business. You know what I mean? It's always that. And if you take that out of your thinking, that's where you go wrong. Stop putting your heart people. We are heart people. Black people, heart people. We feel things, right? We feel things, and our mind tells our heart tells us sometimes better than our mind does. You know what I mean? On the other hand, business is completely different. Business don't care about your heart. They want to care about this mind and what bread you got. That's where we can't our DNA don't get us into that, where we just be so hard and like, nah, screw that. Because could you imagine the flip side of what could potentially happen if that was the case? If oh my God, we put them in charge, it's all Obama, he's gonna destroy it. Like, stop with the rhetoric, bro. Listen to what's going on in the real world and look at the bigger picture. Don't look at what's happening in the clown show over here. Turn your head to the right or left, or turn around to the back and really see what the show is about. Because if you're missing the main show, you're not gonna get what you pay for. And that's where a lot of people are. They looking at the ruckus, which is some bull crap. This very small number of things are happening over here comparative to the gazillion things that are happening over here, which don't make sense to me. But it's easy to manipulate people with media.
Yeah,
it's proven.
It is. So I got to move forward, and I still had 2 subjects I need to carry, and we're not gonna get into both subjects. So we're gonna take a vote on a panelist that's on here today. I don't want to say everybody sitting on the couch, and we're gonna decide what we can go to. We can go to Snoop Dogg and his explanation of why he did what he did for for Trump's inauguration, or we can go to how Dems can fight, and that's the one that I'm gonna be honest. If I'm being prejudiced, that's the one I wanted to talk about, because that one is a big one to me, because I think it leads to a lot of where Danny has his I don't give a shit, like they both the same, is because you don't see anything different, you know. But while we do that, I want y'all 4 to think about that, and then I got 3 votes. I'm the super majority anyway. y'all think about it. But
what was it again, Bobby?
We can talk about Snoop and why Snoop went ahead and did his did the stuff for the inauguration for Trump.
Am I still in here?
He tried to explain. You in here. Oh, still easy. Danny, you still in here.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll put you back in a second. And then but why y'all figure out what we're gonna do, you got Easy in here to vote too. So it's either Snoop, we talk about Snoop, or we talk about what Dems need to do and their biggest problem to me. What and what they need to do. But in the meanwhile, while y'all think about that, we're gonna take a couple seconds to talk about the newest changes in the bases and warships. So last week we talked about why they are changing Harriet Tubman, they are changing Cesar Chavez, why they're changing Harvey Milk, why they're changing a bunch of minorities and quote unquote woke people, because how dare we do that? And this week we have these are who they are changing them to. We got George Pickett. He is a Confederate general. We got George B. Hood. He is a Confederate general. And before I continue on, let me say this. We have already changed all these names. Let me come back. We're working on our production, people. We're still working on that. All of these names have already been changed over the last 4 years from these people that we're about to talk about to the people that we have that they want to change it back to, because they're fucking traitors, slave owner traitors, and white supremacists. None of that is this. You can't dispute any of that. All that is fact. So now I'm gonna go back to it. Okay. So we got Hood, we got Pickett, we got Jordan, we got Powell Hill. All of them again are traitors. All of them traitors. Now let's go to Fort Rucker. We got Fort Polk, and we all know, the Robert E. Lee. Now I'm gonna just talk for a quick second and just say, all of these bases, all of these schools, all of these things are named simply to keep Black people and minorities in our place, to let you know that when you graduate from Robert E. Lee School, when you get stationed at Robert E. Lee base, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't never been shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. Hold on, let me find you, Danny. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'm still working on my production, but that's where
Candace
we
needs
at.
to be your producer.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It's hard. Look here. Look. I gotta find somewhere to sleep tonight.
She cussing me out on the side.
Yes, she is. So that was a segue, and I'm gonna give y'all all literally. I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds because I want to continue, because I'm trying to keep the more constraint than we we can get our head of ourselves.
I'm basis,
but
I'm definitely basis.
This is absolutely ridiculous, and I wish I had my brother Ethan on. I don't think it's all coincidence. What's the coincidence that we take the people that fight it for freedom, Harriet Tubman, and we take the people that wanted to keep you enslaved and bring their names back? Those are the conversations we need to have. So, all right, go. Holly got your hand raised. Go ahead.
My thing is,
go ahead, love.
Just think about this as you answering. Did he even know really what these people did, who they are, the history of it? I would probably say no. I'm guessing he's trying to undo anything that Obama did. That's what I want to say to start off.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, that was under Biden. That was under Biden. So that was actually under Biden. Same thing.
Anything that
he hates Biden more than Obama. If there's any white man that he hates more than Biden, more than Obama, is Biden.
Exactly. So me personally, this is just a stab at them. I don't think he really has any real reason to do it other than the fact that one of them did it. That's just me. Is it right? Do I like it? Absolutely not. But it's just like, why? And we know why. He's a racist pig. Yeah. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
That's my own take on
Danny?
I look at it from another perspective as well. I looked at that's just the way to launder some of that good tax dollar, because at the position and the deficit that we're so called in, right? Why would you spend millions of dollars to go to all these bases and rename them? We need electricians, carpenters, cement masons. We need all these people to go ahead and change the names of these bases for what? Don't we got better things to spend money on right now? Like, the name of the base is the name of the base. Let's just go ahead and rename all the streets of Philadelphia. We're just going to change all the names. It's going to cost us a couple $1 trillion, $1 billion, but it'll be all right. I just think that was just a money launder real quick. We need to go ahead and wash away some of these good tax dollars. So that's one. Two, Holly, is it? If I don't believe Trump knew who the hell they were either, but I know somebody in his camp did. You know what I mean? Somebody knew. He may not have known, but somebody in that camp. There's some pretty smart people over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to beg to differ with you on the smart people in this cabinet. I doubt that.
Hey, let me say something real quick.
I'll say this: they're focused. They're focused on what they want, which is white supremacy and doing what they do. So they may not be smart, but they're focused on their
They do have
goal.
agendas.
Go ahead, Ronnie, and then we
all they trying to do is, again, man, they trying to throw smoke over here so you can look over there. Listen, I don't care what the name of the bases are. There's traders on money we spend every day. We gonna change the dollar bills. We're going to change the $5 bill. We're going to change the $10 bill. Are we going to change our currencies? Are we going to change the name of streets and banks? You know what I mean? Like, so people stop thinking about that in the name of whatever it is, doesn't change the fact that there's military people on that base. Who cares when they can name that mud carpet? All I give a damn. Am I appalled by the people that they selected? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because those people were all about destroying the America, mm-hmm. and the people that they replaced were all about building up America, right? So for me, hopefully this is another little trinket for people to wake up to. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, mm-hmm. You're gonna put this base name into such and such who was ready to destroy this country back when they did it. Then this person who built and freed a lot of people, or who actually served in World War II, you know what I'm saying? Who Harvey Milk was? People don't know that. You know what I'm saying? This dude mm-hmm. was a veteran. You know mm-hmm. what I mean? He was a gay veteran. So but he was a veteran, right? He went to war and did his thing, and he came back, supported his country, ran for the, I think, mayor or something like that, and got murdered, right? But the whole thing is, don't care about that portion of it. Don't think of it that way. Who cares? Because a whole lot of things will have to change. If people really care about that kind of stuff, if they're gonna change a lot, if they're gonna change bases, listen, you gotta like my man said, you gotta learn how to play in the system. This ain't our game. We ain't write none of the rules. Only thing we can do is try to follow and stay within the rules, and try to twist it up until where we can fix it when we can fix it. For right now, is it an abomination to me? Yes. You should have just left them to where they were already named, to these people that people can celebrate, instead of people that they were traitors, like you said, and they were traitors. They were freaking bigots, and they were racist, and they were freaking trying to tear this country apart. But don't let that drive you into saying, hey, this is what this what the military is about. They don't have a choice.
No.
It's, yeah.
I agree with you there. And like you said, the base of the name is irrelevant. All it does is continue to show a pattern of racism and white supremacy. That to me is what it's about. It's not about the name.
I love it.
That's what it's about.
I love it. But I love it. I love it, Bobby.
Why?
Because it tells you how this person really is. I don't want you to hide no more. I want you to take that cape off. I want you to take that cape off your head, so I know exactly who the hell you are.
Take it off. I mean,
Ronnie, I agree with you saying the name of the base, but representation freaking matters. Representation matters. Amen. So we have our young kids, like you saying, they're going to these schools, and then they're like, well, let's do the history of this. Oh, they were from the Confederacy? Like, that, do you know what that means to a small child? Yeah, that's ingrained, and that's another.
We have Confederates on our money, man. We got Confederates on our money.
You're not listening. You're not listening to what he's saying. He's saying,
I am hearing.
Even with the money, yes. But when you're they see this big change and the big change back. So people like, what's the big, what's going on here? When you were a kid, all of us probably can say we people in positions of power, air traffic controllers, engineers, and all these things. Did we see any of these people of our color? We didn't see the representation of that. But now you have these bases named after these people, after we know they're traitors, like Bobby said, and then again they don't care. So it really, and then it goes back to kind of what Danny's saying. Now they get disillusioned, and then they ain't gonna want to vote, right? So now you perpetuating the whole thing. So it freaking does matter that we change these names back. And I know we can't do nothing about it now, but I want to say something about the parade. Did they say $43 million? $43 million for this parade? A parade that you don't need? And y'all in the government, Harley and Danny said he was in the government. I don't know if Keith in the government. Listen, we had to stop traveling, flying and stuff because they wanted to make sure every little penny was accounted for.
Yeah.
But you can do a parade?
Every penny.
A parade?
Parade. One day.
What Doge at? What Doge at for that one?
You
Yeah.
know, this
And
whole
they paying
thing
people
is,
$1,000 to go.
it's they have to do these
Yeah,
kind
they
of
doing
things
that
because they're taking books out. You're trying to erase things. It's all part of Project 2025. That it's in there. We have to
Yes.
erase and restore these names in there. This is Project 2025 to the T. Get rid of the books. At some point, if you're a person of color, you're gonna really believe that this is just a white country. That's basically what you want to do. You want to erase anything that's not white. You want to erase the books that say white people were bad in the past. This is just part of it. It's Project 2025.
Slavery was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
We got some
All right.
things out of that.
So we're gonna go to the last one, and did we all figure out where we're gonna vote? Because I'm with the Dems, because the Dems are very disappointing to me, and I would like to talk about that. But if anybody else want to talk about Snoop Dogg for a second, I can carry this to the next pod. Well, a couple pods from now.
No, I'm good with
Snoop.
the Democrats. Like
But-
Snoop.
Let's do the
Snoop
dance.
is just-
Yeah, let's. So this video to me was very, very good to watch. So we're just gonna
Yes,
watch
it
it
is.
and then talk about it.
To Rick's point, and it's something that I literally alluded to in the last second. I think there is an over-indexing in conversations about where are the men. I do think some of that is a problem at times, but I do think at the same time that the Democratic Party fails to put men who can fight and are seen as fighting across all sections in positions of promise, right? Look, there's all sorts of great things about how, Hakeem Jeffries, but if I see another one of those videos where where Brooklyn at energy, and I'm like, yes, where is Brooklyn? Because I'm not getting it from you, right? Like, I'm not like, I'm sorry. He's got the hat on and it's giving me the Steve Buscemi meme, hey, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, it doesn't give me that energy. And here's the thing. I think Hakeem Jeffries is a perfectly competent leader, but the energy does not come across. There has to be a guy version of Jasmine Crockett. There has to be, and I point this out because I've said this in Los Angeles. It happened a couple months ago. I went to the rally with Bernie Sanders and AOC, right? And I pointed out, as unpopular as it may have been, I'm not a drone, okay? But I'm in downtown Los Angeles. I counted the number of black people that I saw there, and there weren't many, okay? And as great as AOC can be, you have to have a Gen X millennial guy out there, somebody who's Beto O'Rourke with more substance. And until you get that, and this is not to diminish Jasmine Crockett or AOC or any of these people who are fantastic, but you have to have a diversity of messaging, right?
We've got
the Republicans have Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I just want to stop right there because my sister Holly was moving. You were moving because it's a lot to unpack. He said so much. And if you don't know my brother Jason Johnson, he is a professor at Morgan State and he's doing his thing. And it's outstanding to hear him talk because he puts it in such a great light. You know what I mean? He breaks it down. And I think we lack. I like Hakeem Jeffries. I like him a lot. You could tell he's a smart brother. He has the entire party in a hold. Like they vote lock and step, so you can tell he's a great leader. Because if it wasn't, it'd be it'd be like Johnson. Johnson got to fight for votes. Jeffries ain't got to do that. So they're on lock and step, but at the same time, I think and it's probably going to be a different pod in and of itself. He has to keep himself from being the angry black man, the same thing that Obama had to do. Mm-hmm. And so he can't go out there because if you arrest one of a Republican congressman, they going ham on you. They going it's different if it's like sexual predating than if it's you don't like our policies and you coming to protest our policies and we arrest you. It's a problem. You get what I'm saying? Like And we don't have anybody in the Democratic Party that fights like they need to fight, in my opinion.
Of males,
Like I said,
like they said, males, because we got LC,
Male.
the whole, we
Male.
don't have males to do
Male.
that. It's like, I think we follow
We
that.
have males.
We follow that playbook, the Obama playbook. That's why you have the Hakeem Jeffries and like Cory Booker, the safe and safe.
Yeah.
safe is-
They
are very
give.
good.
Let me give a.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But they're not fighting. So Holly, I want to give you the floor first because
I'm just he was talking about Jasmine Crockett. She is a firecracker.
Yes.
But she is a firecracker and she's gonna speak her mind and she's super smart and she holds their feet to the fire.
Absolutely.
And I'm in agreement, but and I'm a woman, I get it. She's a woman, she's a Black woman. So she's not the person they're gonna put out in front of the Democratic Party for that reason and that reason. If she was a man and toned it, she still needs to tone it down a little bit. She needs to polish herself just a little bit, but she would be a great representation for the Democratic Party, I believe. But that's why I was right
So
here.
let's continue. We still got a few more minutes.
Yeah, and she can't
That's
be
my girl
herself.
too.
That's the problem. She can't be herself because it makes her an
No,
easy
no,
target from the
because-
Republicans to just
Yes.
say, "Oh, she's that." So that hurts.
He's
her.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And they had JD Vance. They had lots of different kinds of people, and there's not, and maybe it'll be Ruben Gallego. I don't know, but there is not a millennial Gen X Latino man out there talking. There's not a millennial Gen X Zoomer Black man out there talking to anybody. All they've got is Pete Buttigieg. And while I think
I will say Eric Swalwell's been out there a good bit.
Eric Swalwell don't look. I like
get it.
Eric.
No, I get
like
it.
Eric a lot, but he doesn't hit my students at Morgan. I need as a voter, right? Because there's a difference between all of us create content and do analysis, but I will tell you what I need as a voter. I need some say it to my face energy, right? Yeah. And you don't get that from any of these people. You don't get if I've got coworkers, and it's funny. I know I'm gonna mischaracterize it, but Michael Harriot said this a while back with Al Green, right? He said, look, if we all at the club together and I get thrown out and y'all stay, we ain't crew no more, right?
Right.
Right. You have a
Why the hell you ain't leave when I got kicked out? Thank you.
Thank you.
I got drug up on my neck. You still sitting in the club dancing.
Thank you. Your friends are like, but I just ordered my drink. Then those aren't your friends.
They're not your friends, baby.
So we've seen what this party is about. We've seen it. So all the conversations about, well, should he be the leader? Look, he probably will be. Like I said, I don't really talk about 2026. We have seen the mettle of this party, and it has been found lacking. And yes, I'm using sort of the funny metaphor, but that's the energy that people see. That's the metaphor to people. Everybody understands that those aren't really your friends if they don't leave with you. And the American people see that. And they're like, well, if they can't be down for each other, if they're seeing their colleagues get arrested and they're like, we're going to send another strongly worded letter, then I know they're not fighting for me.
Right. Jason, that is the difference between the D and the R. Yep. The R, they're going to be down. Using the club analogy, if Donald Trump get kicked out of the club, the whole crew is leaving. But they burning the club down. The club is dead. They come back and they burn that shit down.
It's rubble.
Yeah, it's over. They burn it down.
I keep pointing out to people, and I have said this in numerous and sundry places. I'm not a historian. I don't play one on TV. But anybody who is thinking that no one in the history of this planet has ever voted themselves out of a dictatorship. It doesn't work that way. So people who think that they're just we're going to get lucky and Donald Trump is just going to disappear. The man has already said he is running for president again in 2028. I don't care if they got a weekend at Bernie's his ass. That's what they're going to do, right? Unless he is not alive.
But before we get there, I just want to unpack what he said before there, which is, will the Democratic Party, will you take them to the club with you? Metaphorically.
No. Not unless their name is AOC or Jasmine Crockett. That's it.
and
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett, AOC. That's it. That's all I'm rolling with.
and let's talk about that for like that's a problem. That is a problem in and of itself that we can't that we feel like they're not fighting for us.
Did I forget about Cory Booker?
But he had he did a day on the Senate floor.
Nah, bro.
Hold on,
you gotta go way back. That man been talking about that for a minute.
Hold on. But they asked Cory Booker. Will he still accept payments? Well, not payments. Will he still accept donations from Elon Musk? And he said, no comment.
Okay.
So what's the okay?
Like current? What is? I don't know when he did that currently.
Yeah, like when the last month or so.
Oh yeah, that's pretty odd. But I'm sure they all would take money from anybody right now. They need. No, that is pretty odd. But I'm sure they all would take bread from anybody right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they would shut any spigot off. But there's been several people for decades, man. Bernie been talking about this crap for man. I don't even remember 60s, 70s. He said the game plan back then. He been saying the exact same thing since the like 70s or late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. The whole time he been in Congress, man. But we need youth, like you said, right? We need some youth to go out there and stand up. There's a couple cats that's coming along, man. It's a couple cats out there.
But nobody again, it goes back to and don't get me wrong, I don't think you can vote third party at this time. I don't. So this is not let's find somebody else because that's the way we need to go, because I don't think there is another way to go at this point. However, I'm critiquing where they are today. And where they are today is bullshit, because they are not fighting. They are not fighting. If you take my cousin to jail on some bullshit, we got a problem, and I'm seeing you do it. I mean, like because we could have took your whole family to jail, and we ain't do that. Now you get in office and you taking us to jail? That's a problem. Keith, what do you think about what you've seen so far? We still got a little bit left.
Yeah, I'm right there with him. We're not fighters in the Democratic Party. We don't. There's nothing. There's no consequence to do anything to anyone. There's no consequence. So until we change that, no that's why I'm always going to take Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker with me, because I know the intelligence of those guys. We need them on the crew, but at the same time, when we're going to ball, we're about to brawl with somebody. I want them there to make sure everything's good. But I'm taking Tyson. I'm taking some brawlers with me, and we need somebody who's gonna knock somebody out, and then I'm gonna use Cory Booker. And I think to get them out there.
What's going on?
They are towel boys. Like, are they the men for the moment? And that's what this is about. We are in a moment. We all talking about dictatorship. We all talking about all of these different things that can happen to our communities as a whole, in America as a whole. And the Democratic Party is like, I'm gonna say literally Chuck Schumer. I sent him a strong letter word. I mean, strong strong. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. You know what I mean?
A strong word letter.
Yeah. Same thing.
I want you, but
same thing.
But Bobby, listen. You ain't gonna go up against the bully that got the gun, the bat. Hold on, hear me out. That got the gun, the bat, the tank, the ship, and all the other stuff behind them until you get something that's equivalent to that. Right? You're not gonna. It's not fruitful for you. You're gonna lose right away. You got to build up your strength, right? They don't have any power, bro. None. What are they gonna go out there and just say something? The man ain't even following the law right now. They don't have no majority in the House, the Senate, or the presidency, which means that all branches of the government is in this man's hand. It is not really the Democrats that, I mean, they need to do their jobs for obvious reasons, but it's not them that's going to break the system, break the cycle. It's going to be the people that's in the bowl.
But before I speak, I want to ask Holly, are you ready to speak, Holly? You want to come?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, do AOC have any power? Ronnie, I'm asking
absolutely
you.
Not. No, absolutely not.
But she out there. Does Bernie have any power? The answer is no. So we I'm cutting the red tape. Okay. So
Go
I
ahead.
said all that to say is we need somebody that is ready to fight. And I mean like with their word, like call them who they are. Like why hasn't it been a single Democrat that say why not let out the Espine
You know why,
files?
Bobby? You know why, Bobby?
Because they might be
You know
on
why,
it.
Bobby? Because the
Go ahead.
Republicans know what we should have known a long time ago. This is how you do it. Like your mom tell you, a whole fist. We don't do the fist. You got AOC. We need
Yeah.
to be one. And even if we had that one fighter, everybody else got to back him. You got to back him. We don't have that. We have all these little fingers doing like this. The Republicans go, boom. We don't like it, but we're going to all hit you. We don't do that. We need to be as one, the whole party.
It's
build that. You gotta get that weight up, baby.
One.
It's ridiculous. Holly,
You get that weight up.
Holly, go.
Oh no, y'all done said everything. I'm in agreement. There's no body that I can see on the radar that's even remotely close to being that voice of the Democratic Party. No one. Like I said, the only one that I see that is Jasmine Crockett is a firecracker, but she's not her. She's not her.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. She's not.
Why not?
She is not her.
We cannot nominate. Go ahead.
She's not.
Sorry.
And here's why. I like Jasmine Crockett. I think she's a firecracker. She's super smart. But she's not polished enough to get out in front of everybody and make that case for the Democratic Party. Jasmine Crockett will call you a bitch, tell you the kids are black, you know what, and the whole 9 yards. She will. And she's done on the Senate floor pretty much. So you got to have somebody a little bit more polished to get out. I love her drive. I love everything about her. But if she, and not saying that she can't get there, but they will have to polish her up just a little bit to get out there to be the voice of the Democrats.
Holly can't do it simply. She's a black woman. And our next leader, because of the way our country is, has to be. Yeah, what is the background on? I'm trying to figure it out myself. I don't know because it's.
There it goes.
Yeah, it's no.
It went away.
Yeah, it went away.
It was Ronnie.
Yeah, but I say it's yeah. Anyway, we need another white man to be in charge again. I don't think this country is ready for a woman. I truly don't believe that. And as much if it was up to me, I would say Pete Buttigieg because I think he's excellent. I think he is. But we are exactly.
They ain't gonna vote for a gay man.
They're not vote for gay man.
What does it matter who he's sleeping with?
No,
exactly.
No.
It doesn't matter. I would vote for him,
are correct.
but they ain't gonna vote for him.
I would.
Oh, you said you would.
Oh no! I was saying they not gonna vote for it.
No,
I would.
They not.
I would.
They not.
I would. Yeah.
They not. And that's one of the things to like we need to talk about this in a different pod because the black community is very, very, very religious and very conservative. He would not get as many votes. He would not. He just wouldn't. And with all those things being said, like we need another straight white male that can take the argument to the people and be honest and be genuine. And that's what I think the problem is with our party right now.
What about Gavin Newsom?
And I'm calling my party because
Gavin Newsom.
He has gained some points off of his last stuff, but anybody from California on, think about prices and think about Californians moving in here and they bring in liberal thoughts and all their money and all of this stuff. I don't think Gavin can do it. I really don't. And the floor is yours now, Easy. I want you to talk for a second about everything we've been talking about.
Oh no, I think we need to go low more. Oh, I'm not a Democrat, but I think I'm not a Republican either. But I think the Democrats need to be a little tougher and be like, fuck you, and talk like they talking. What do they got to lose? What do they got to lose? We already, or they already, I say we because I was formerly a Democrat, but they already behind. Like shit, fucking talk shit to Trump. Talk shit. Go at him and talk about his lies. You know, like be out there talking about it. Act like you got something. Act like you got some. Forget some balls because
I heard Michelle Obama say when they go low, we go high. Stop playing. Y'all know the rules.
Go low.
They don't stoop down to their level, dog.
Okay. So let me talk to Easy for a second since he's sitting below the couch. All right. You said you're not a Democrat no more. So who you gonna vote for?
So I have no party affiliation officially. So
So appreciate that.
Who am I going to vote for? I'm going to vote for anybody that ain't Donald Trump people. So
that sounds like a Democrat. Like so. Let me ask you a question. Let's break it down. Let me. Let me ask
like that, Bobby. Don't be like that, Bobby. Don't be like that, Bobby. We'll take the independence too.
Okay, but he's different. Okay, all right.
What's the difference?
All right. Look. I want to be independent. I do because I feel like oh shoot, we got Auntie going. Come on. I feel like we need to have those differences of opinion. Like I don't agree with everything from the Democrats do. Like I think there's some bullshit there. But when it comes to push come to shove, and it comes to I gotta vote for this crew, or I gotta vote for that crew, or I sit out. Once the same thing with Danny. I gotta vote for this crew because that's the only way to go. So I appreciate you taking back your independence, like Jean Pierre. I think I said that right. I don't know. I'm working with it. Jean Pierre. I think that's it. Anyway, but in reality, I think you know where things need to go.
Well, ask Easy what he identifies as.
Yeah. So I know on both sides. I'm a he him, but
I'll vouch for Easy. He good. That's my guy. I'm sorry, we ain't even gonna go that way with these. What's your
pronoun? Politically.
Yeah. So I will say this: as I get older, and I think y'all probably gonna be the same. I get more conservative about people, taking more responsibility and accountability for their own lives, right?
We all agree.
You know that aligns with a certain party, but
does it? But
hold on. Traditionally, I'll say
the marketing.
The marketing.
Thank you. Marketing. Okay, go ahead. Keep going now.
Again, with my affiliation, again, there's Democrat, Republican, Independent, and then there's no party affiliation. So I'm not not an independent or
either
anything,
one,
right?
Either one.
But again, I do vote Democrat. So you could say, yeah, it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you're a motherfucking Democrat, right? So so that's where I and I vote like ain't no way I can vote for the Republicans. What they do is listen, they ain't gonna be me. They ain't gonna be. I cannot do it. And I want to say one more thing about representation. When I talk about I wish Danny was here. Representation matters. Oh, that's running too. So again, I was saying it from our side of a minority, but think about the representation from the other side of the white kid that's growing up. They're like, oh shit, we still promoting that shit. So I'm good with keeping that same mentality. So you got to see that it reinforces their shit as well, and instead of promoting our shit. But again, I do vote mostly the Democratic Party line. Yes. For me?
Yes.
All right.
If you vote mostly on the Democratic Party line, why was it necessary for you to disassociate yourself and be what you call it? Non-party affiliated?
Yeah, no party affiliation. Why did I do that? I did it a couple years. I don't even remember why I did it. But one of the drawbacks is that I don't get to vote in the primaries, right? So if you don't have a party, you can't vote in the primary.
Because you don't have a party.
You don't have a party. So that was one of the drawbacks.
But then don't you think that would You could be that one vote that really makes the difference in the primary. I don't know.
But it's still, you vote for who's going to be running.
Who's going to be the front runner? Yeah.
Who's going to be the front runner? But I think when I changed my association, I was really disillusioned with both parties, really, when I did that. So that's what it was. But again, I ain't fucking with them Republicans and what they're doing with the stuff, especially with Donald Trump. No, nobody. No.
I was just curious because you said you voted Democrat, but you don't have a party.
Yeah.
Easy.
All right, y'all. We have
you think any of it has to do with people saying that you like? I think Biden did us a disservice when he said you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Is that part of that easy where you feel that because I'm black, people assume I'm a Democrat, and I don't want that assumption. I want them to know that I'm a free thinker, and I can change my mind when I want to. Is that any part of you why you were so quick? I'm like Holly asking that. I love that question she asked you.
Yeah.
Why did you?
So I did that. That was well before that election too. So it's been a minute since I've been no party affiliation. So it was before the Biden election, but I did vote for Biden, and I did vote for Kamala. So yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious.
All right, y'all. We have a special guest. Go ahead, Ronnie, before I get to my special guest. Go ahead, Ronnie. Ronnie had a question?
Yeah, I'm here. No. I don't have any questions, man. I just have like real quick.
All
quick thing, right? Just real fast. Right. Okay. Representation, correct, is very important. And you're 100% right. 100% right by that. But don't let that get twisted on like being successful, because we ain't never really had representation. Look where we are now. Does that make sense?
Keep talking.
So no, that's all I gotta say. I mean, we don't. So for us, we're gonna make it through the mud regardless of what they have the display in our face or not. You can put they done put ropes up here. They done put this damn Dixie flag and these damn state things and all kind of weird stuff. I don't care about that stuff, man. We're gonna move forward in our mud and make whatever we need to make out of that. But we need people like us, and we are. I think we do have representation out here, because if we didn't, we wouldn't want to be the people that we are now. We wouldn't even be where we are now. You know what I mean? So what a sign say at a freaking base or whatever it is, I don't go to that base. I don't really care. And 99% of the time, people don't even really know what the name of the bases are.
True.
Except the people that work on them. You feel what I mean? So that's one of the things I like, you know what I'm saying? But the representation that in our Democratic thing, Democrats, for me, and this is the reason why I like being a Democrat. If I go, and this is what we go about the representation, where Easy is 100% right. If you look at what representation, if you look on one side of the aisle, you don't see the demographics of the entire country as much as you do on one side, right? If I have more people that look like me or look like people that I know that are out here, those are the people I'm probably gonna go hang out with. Not the people that I don't see no representation or hardly any of it, and they're not even speaking my language at all. They might not be as on one side, they might not be as articulate either, but they're speaking a little bit of the language I can understand. But if I don't understand nothing and you don't represent nothing I'm talking about, I can't follow you. So that's just how I go with it.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So we got a special guest. This is the first time he's on a pod, and he took the time out here to come out here and enjoy this conversation with us. And we are always ADA compliant, I should say. We have my father that's coming on here, Baba Bob. It's his first time. He is voice impaired, but he saved all his voice, all his time to give us some wisdom. And
hey, thank you guys.
Come on, Pop.
I didn't expect this. But I'm proud of you. Each of you. The fact that you're all here, communicating, King, your level of leadership is rare. We need you. I love y'all. I'll talk to you again soon.
Love you, Pop. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for
Keep up
coming
the good
on.
work, guys.
That is special to me on his. Love you, Pop. Thank you
Thank
for
you, sir.
coming.
You're welcome.
We
Yeah,
love you back, Pop.
he has
I'll
been
be
very
back.
big in the black community for a very long time, and he lost his voice almost 20 years ago now, and so it comes and goes. He's done a lot of different things to get his voice back, and it's still so for him to say that it has been more than a lot of my my grandkids have been able to hear in years, to be honest with you. So it's starting to improve. But yeah, thank you, Pop, and I appreciate that. Miss Diva, are
I'm
you here?
here.
You
I'm
ready?
ready.
All right.
So
Welcome to the
thank
couch.
you. Thank you. I've been enjoying the conversation, mainly putting my thoughts in the comments. But I just had to get on, to say I think the problem with Democrats is that we hold our candidates to a much higher standard. Republicans put a felon in the White House, and we want someone who's more polished. We couldn't get anyone more polished than Kamala. She was the most qualified candidate to ever run for POTUS. She was a senator. She was a vice president. She was an attorney general. She had a law degree. You can't get more qualified than that. Even Obama, when he ran the first time, didn't meet those qualifications. Biden, even though he was a senator for a long time and a vice president, that's all he had in his toolbox. Kamala, was the attorney general in California, and I think she had another position in California. So we had someone who was qualified, but people either didn't vote or they voted for a turd in a MAGA hat who had 34 convicted felons and admitted to grabbing women by the crotch. So we don't have to lower our standards. We just have to accept what we can get until we can get better. And as long as we hold those high standards, Republicans are going to win because they vote in every single election, and they will vote for anything that's Republican, anything that's Republican. And we have to. No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I agree with you there, but we should have our own standards and we should vote accordingly to those standards. The problem is we need to create enthusiasm with those standards. And we need to, and this is the problem I see with the Democratic Party right now is we don't show we are fighting. And I'm gonna go back to Ronnie, like you said, like laws take time and all this stuff. I agree with you there. But if again, if you elect one of my if you arrest one of my congressmen on some bullshit, that's a problem. We had Congress people that was literally giving tours before January 6th. Nothing happened.
Nope.
Like Merrick Garland, honestly, Merrick Garland has been one of the worst things that ever happened to this country ever. And I was for him when we hired, like, okay, he's a centrist. He's going to look at the law, but he slow walked it off of a tradition. They don't give a fuck about tradition.
Rules, and we have to stop following the rules. We have to start fighting fire with fire. We have to, get down in the dirt if that's necessary, just like they do, because they don't mind getting muddy. We got to get down in the dirt just like they do. And if that means, no, don't break laws, but, fuck the rules, because that's what Trump and MAGA is saying. Fuck the rules. We're creating our own rules.
But how do you do that without breaking the rules?
I said don't break the laws. You can break the rules.
No, break the laws.
Rules, laws, but you can. Okay, so how can you do that? Get dirty like they do without breaking the laws.
Be more enthusiastic. This is bull. Like show
Yeah,
that shit in the game, and you like.
Well, it's what they're doing.
You're not breaking the law when your friend is getting kicked out the club, but you're like, yo, he going, I'm going with him. That's the metaphor. You know what I mean? Like they aren't.
Well, we have to get in good
they
trouble.
aren't doing.
We have to be willing to get in good trouble.
What about if your friend out there shooting up a house and are you gonna go shoot up the house with him?
First off,
that's not breaking
What's
the law.
the difference?
That's breaking the law.
I mean, you fight the club, that's breaking the law. You can't differentiate. You can't say I can do one thing, but this one is not just as bad.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So this the brass tacks of it. When we was younger and we talked, we all started to learn who was this and who was that, right? We all was drinking and stuff like that. We was like, yo, this my man's in them. But when you seen that your man's get out of pocket and when it's time to go to the club, he doing this, that, and the other, you didn't hang with them, right? You're like, you know what? You're not a happy drunk. You start drinking and things start happening and things go a different way. Then you start hanging with these other people and stuff like that, and you get to learn that how people are and what's right and what's wrong, and you gravitate to those people who are right and who are wrong. So there are ways to handle the situation and ways to where I know that as long as I'm with Ronnie, we may protest, we may do this, but I know Ronnie ain't about to pull out his gun and start shooting cops. I'm not doing. He not doing that. We not doing that because he is weak. Because I'm sitting next to him. I'm standing next to him. But we gonna let our voice be heard. That is not, to me, the Democratic Party right now isn't fighting enough. And I want to hear from Holly and then Eddie for a second.
You said it, Ship. They're not cohesive either. It's just not a cohesive team. It's not. So until we get to that point where we're cohesive, what was the situation? What was it? Was it one of
Schumer did that bullshit? I know what you're talking about.
Oh, the strongly worded.
He didn't do that. Yeah, no. When he's supposed to do something, he could have shut something down. But
he could shut down the government, and he should have. And he should have.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah,
he should have, because you if you don't stand for nothing, you fall for anything. Eddie, what you got to say?
I don't have anything to say. They just need to fight better, and within the rules, because they can talk shit. They can talk shit like Trump talk shit,
and they don't talk shit. They don't talk. Why haven't there been a conference saying, "Yo, Elon said he's in the files. You in charge of the files. Let the files out." Like, that's something simple.
Yes. Democrats can't do that. They don't have control.
No. And what about the video? With the airplane.
It's not about control. It's about the narrative. And that's what the Republicans have done spectacularly since Fox News have came into place.
I agree with that.
They control the narrative all the time, because every time it's caravans, is this and that, and guess what? You know what they're gonna do tomorrow? Now that Trump said we can't, I've been thinking, and now maybe we shouldn't go and arrest the immigrant farmers and immigrant meat packers. And you know what Fox News is gonna do tomorrow?
That's all they'll be talking about.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't arrest the immigrant farmers. And why? Because they walk in lockstep with fucking Hitler.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fox has said some crazy stuff about Trump, bro.
They have one,
but I said, it's not consistent. It's not consistent. It's not consistent.
It doesn't outweigh all the lies that they tell.
No, 100%. I mean, they all tell lies. I mean,
no,
really,
they
if
don't.
You think about it, they are. It's a. Oh yeah, they do. Everybody want to have their own scenario of how they want to view how things are.
I verify what I read, and it's not lies.
I disagree with lies. I truly feel,
and that's the problem.
There's a distinctive difference between the two. And one, MSNBC and all of them, the MSNBC, I'll say, is slanted, and they trying to create a narrative for Democrats.
But they're owned by billionaires.
But they're way more honest than Fox News. They don't just, they rather not report it than tell you a lie.
I read the Atlantic.
And I watched. I watched Cuomo. I watched. I watched Cuomo. I watched Cuomo. I watched
Rachel's good.
Dan Abrams. I watched them as well. But they still, you know, like, to me at this point is independent. It's independent media for me. For me, it's the Don Lemons that's independent. It's the Bulwark that is independent. Like, which are, Don Lemon was never affiliated, but the Bulwark was Republicans that are now, you know, just they just tell the whole
Who's
truth.
that reporter that was just fired because he said something about Trump?
ABC. I can't remember his name, but he was on ABC.
Oh, big
Yeah,
time.
so
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah,
when Democrats
yeah,
come out and tell the truth, you know, they lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Well, he's
And
not
that's
a
the reason why
Democrat.
they can't jump in the fire right now. We're all the way in the fire yet.
Right.
They don't have
because
enough power yet. That's
we
like
don't have the
like everyone
power.
was saying. Right.
We don't have the
You
House.
got it.
We don't have the
listen, you
Senate.
gotta
We
build
don't have the White House. We don't have the SCOTUS. We don't even have the media.
Correct.
We got to get out. 2026 it's got to be some changes. I mean, 2026 is
it's
life
gonna be
and
some
death.
major changes, but it's gonna be major changes, and that's why they blitzkrieg and all this crap so quickly. So by the time the 26th election, because if you look at all these smaller elections that are already happening, it's already turning, and they can see what's coming. Those Republicans are getting out of these, so they know this tidal wave is already coming. So hell yeah, they speeding up now. They like, oh, they for real. We getting out of here. So that's the indicators beforehand, so they know what's coming. You feel what I mean?
That have been red,
getting out of here, bro.
1800 and something, and it's now blue.
Yeah, like Musk trying to buy the Supreme Court. What was that, in Wisconsin?
It's got it.
Was it Wisconsin? It didn't work. It was
Wisconsin. Yeah. He lost.
And then what happened? Yeah, and then what happened to Kamala? Didn't something just happened? They had to recount her. She had like 0 votes in like some district. Is that gonna change anything? Really?
They recounted, and she would have won. But they tried to buy the mayor's election down here in San Antonio.
100%.
Didn't work.
We have to be cognizant of, because it's gonna be some shaky stuff for them.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. We
watch what they're gonna do.
We reaching an hour and a half.
2.5
hours.
Good conversation.
We reaching 2.5. Yeah, so we gonna come back next week. Next week we're gonna talk about is Juneteenth. So next week happens to fall on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about our history. We're gonna talk about when we got here. We're gonna talk about the civil rights movement. We're gonna talk about
if Juneteenth is
when the party switched. Yeah, so well, I ain't gonna. Well, I'll say
Juneteenth
it
will
right
always
now,
be a
like,
thing.
I didn't know yeah. I didn't know Juneteenth was a thing until I moved to Texas. I had no idea, and I call myself a historian. That's the guy's honest truth. I had no idea whatsoever. So, but we're gonna talk about rebellion. We're gonna talk about guns. Hopefully, I'm gonna have my brother Ruben on here tomorrow, next week, so we can talk about. So I want to talk about gun ownership and learning your rights and stuff like that. Hopefully, as well. We'll see what happens. But this has been always a great conversation. But we gonna bring it back to us next week on just talking about some things. I'm gonna give you guys a second to talk about before I go to our parting clean our palate.
Hey, Ship.
Oh, so
I missed last week.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
I missed last week. I hope the palate cleanser was about Mayor Sandiford, was it?
It was.
It absolutely
That's
was.
all I gotta say.
Yeah,
absolutely it was. It absolutely was.
Travis Perkins is
That's
running.
our next candidate.
Yeah.
Because you know he gonna talk shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, we don't need him in the White House.
Right there.
Hell no.
He got some dirt though. Hold on,
cleaning up
wait,
something.
hold on, no, it's not.
We got a 34 convicted felon in the White House. Come on. I'm giving out
Exactly.
But he a black man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. Just real quick, hey, thanks for everybody getting on here. This is awesome. Great dialogue, great topics. Keeping an open mind. I need to clarify something because Miss Spot Diva got me earlier and she was right. There are no Confederate people on our money, but there are. What I should have said, there are
slave owners,
previous slave
right.
owners. I should have said it that way. On our money. So I wanted to correct that. So thank you, Miss Diva, for fact checking me, making sure that what I'm putting out there is correct. And I'm by no means should have said it the way I thought about saying it, but I said it something different. But anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for having Thank you for having the platform, Bobby, for all this stuff, man. Because this is a big thing. We're gonna grow. Continue to grow. Continue to don't get wrapped up. For the people that's listening, don't get wrapped up in to like all the smaller things that being distracting is. Stay focused, spend your money with the right things, and that's how we're gonna fight the big machine. That's how you fight the big machine is with money. You're not gonna fight it with physical nothing. You're not gonna fight it with a piece of paper. You're not gonna do any of that stuff. With a non-currency piece of paper, I should say. So continue the good fight, you know what I mean? Always, be treat, and this is how I was always raised, and this is why we always got to care about our fellow people that's on earth. Is you treat people like you want to be treated, and I'm gonna start off with that.
That's the golden rule.
Better than.
Go ahead, Keith.
I have to buy out real quick, but this has been great, man. That's all I wanted to say. It's been great. Always good to see Holly, Ronnie, everybody easy, and Amy came on. I love it. Y'all take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
All right, so,
hey.
Whoa,
no curse words. We ain't got no curse words.
That's the love.
I got you, Keith.
You see what's on this chest?
I got you, Keith.
Love you.
All right, so we're gonna clean the palate, and this one hit close to home because this is one of the future pods that we're gonna do, and we're gonna talk about military versus college versus trade school versus working at McDonald's or just living life. And
or not working at all.
We got a good story. Yeah, not working at all. We got a good story to tell. My namesake, Lil Bobby, is get out the military next year.
Oh.
He did his 5 years, and he's coming back to home, and he bringing a little Cinco with him, and I'm so proud of him. He was able to find a job that the Navy taught him that was completely different, and I think I can talk about that. So my son is on submarines, and he's an ET. He ETV navigation, and so he's been doing it for the last 5 years. Or he get out in January, and he now is about to work for the FAA.
Oh,
working on navigation.
Nice.
Because it's the same equipment,
right?
Which to me, what I said to my son is, why is that not a shore duty for y'all? Like it helps the Navy
retain.
Yeah, retain their stuff at the same point that it helps you learn and have more stuff for your resume. So, with all that being said, the boy is coming back home, and
where's it gonna be working?
He's gonna be here back in Dallas. He's gonna be here back in Dallas.
There?
Yeah. So he's literally coming home.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's literally coming back home.
Yeah,
so,
congratulations.
Big time right there. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's
and he's gonna make 3 times more money.
So he's literally trying to work on that now, and I'll call you offline honestly because I need to talk to you about if you know anything about it. If you are versed in it, because maybe you can help.
Yeah, shoot me. Yeah, hit me up.
But yeah, both of y'all. Yeah, y'all
shirt off though.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well,
I appreciate him. I appreciate him representing Detroit. Shipman,
You know how I go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm a Leo, so you know
Yeah,
how that
yeah.
go. Ah! It's on my
Yeah.
chest, baby. That's not heart.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the pilot for the day
That's
is,
awesome.
eventually we going, we talk about family and friends like high school, college, and all that other stuff. But like the military is the shit.
It is.
It is. And I would never tell anybody not to join. So all right. Anyway, I'll see y'all
Thanks,
next
Bobby.
week.
Thank you, Neff.
Love
Thanks,
y'all.
everybody.
Bye,
Enjoy.
everybody.
Have a
y'all.
great
All
weekend.
right, love
Have a
y'all.
great
Hey,
Bye-bye.
hold on, whoa. I
Oh,
forgot one thing. Hold on. I forgot
Happy
one thing.
Father's Day.
What?
Happy Father's
Yes,
Day.
I was about to say
Happy
Oh,
that.
happy
Yeah,
Father's
don't-
Day.
Ah,
Yeah, treat us better than we treat y'all. Remember, treat
yeah.
treat people like you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to stay in the bed all
That
day.
goes
All right,
two
y'all.
ways.
Uh-huh.
All right.
All right,
Bye-bye.
y'all have a great
Bye
weekend.
bye.
Later.
All right.